Chapter 2901 Cooperation of the Sword Clan. Yi Tian activated the legendary blood treasure, devoured and refined various resources, and then went to cultivate the legendary body of the Red Dragon. As time went by, it didn't take too long for the Qilong legend to be fully practiced. Without using other resources, I became the legendary Qilong body. Yi Tian is in a good mood. Although it takes a lot of resources to cultivate the Qilong legendary body, he has plenty of general resources and can afford it. Not to mention 1 Xeon legend body, even 5 Xeon legend bodies, he can afford it. The legendary body of Qilong has been introduced, and the next step is to cultivate this legendary body to the perfect state. Yi Tian murmured, Congenital Origin Alliance, Sword Domain. This is the territory of the Sword Clan. The Sword Clan is also considered to be a very powerful lineage in the Shantian Origin Alliance. Its strength is second only to the former Soviet region, and is about the same strength as the Qin region. But at this moment, a group of legendary Dao Realm members of the Sword Clan sat together, each with a very sad look on their faces. Sitting at the top is the contemporary patriarch of the Sword Clan. The top legend reaches Dao Realm Jianong, and the outside world is known as the Ancient Sword Emperor. Jian Heng stared at the many legends reaching the Dao Realm, and said helplessly, the news has been confirmed, the ancestor has already fallen. What? The fall of the ancestor? Although other legends have already had a hunch, it is still a bit unbelievable to actually announce it. The ancestor is the elder, how could he fall? A legend from Dao Realm roared. That's true, the news has been confirmed by other elders. Jian Heng said. The ancestor went to the legendary Sea of Bitterness to find a chance, but he disappeared for a long time, and it was not confirmed until today that the ancestor fell. There is only one elder in our Sword Clan. Now that the ancestor has fallen, the strength of our Sword Clan has plummeted, and the right to speak in the Innate Origin Alliance will be greatly reduced in the future. The ancestor's innate original treasure should also be left in the legendary Bitter Sea, right? A legend came to the Dao Realm and asked. Yes. Jian Heng nodded slightly. The original innate treasure has always been kept by the ancestor, and never showed it to others. When the ancestor fell, the original innate treasure was naturally lost. If the innate original treasure is not lost, our Sword Clan still has hope of rising. Quote. That's an innate treasure. The other Sword Clan legends are a little unwilling to reach the Dao Realm. If the innate original treasure is given to them, it is not hopeless for them to rise up and become the powerhouse of the veteran level. Go to Legend of Bitter Sea and retrieve the ancestor's body. A legend suggested. But that is the legendary Sea of Bitterness. Jian Heng frowned. Even the ancestors have fallen, so who of us dares to go there? Another legendary Taoist said. It is said that in the Sea of Bitterness, the elders will be suppressed when they enter the Sea of Strength. The fall of the ancestors does not mean that we will definitely fall. Moreover, we can definitely invite those who are almost invincible to enter the Sea of Legendary Suffering, pay a certain price. Maybe there are legends who are willing to reach the Dao Realm. Who please? Those top legendary Dao Realms are also afraid of death, and they don't dare to easily step into the legendary Sea of Suffering. Even if they dare to enter, they don't dare to go deep into the legendary Sea of Suffering. A legendary Dao Realm shook his head. No, there is a legend who really dares to enter the Dao Realm. Who is it? Elder Yi Tian of Human Domain. When mentioning Yi Tian, Jian Heng frowned slightly. How long has Yi Tian been an elder? Moreover, his cultivation level is not high. Even if he is the most powerful legend, his combat power may not be stronger than mine, right? Patriarch, you are wrong. A legend reached the Taoist realm. I am familiar with the elder Longyan Ancient Emperor, so I know a lot about Yi Tian, and these years, Yi Tian has also been active outside. His dragon, it is estimated that the scale legendary body has already been completed, and he has also comprehended the rules of the second sequence of Supreme Tao. The realm is not low, and the cultivation level is lower, but the real strength is no less than the Saho veteran before the breakthrough. What? The dragon scale legendary body is complete. If so, Yi Tian's strength is indeed very close to the veteran level combat power. I am not as good as him. Moreover, Yi Tian seems to have many avatars, not afraid of falling. He is the most special legend in the Innate Origin Alliance Dao Realm. He really dared to enter the legendary Sea of Suffering. Jian Heng also felt that Yi Tian was undoubtedly the most suitable candidate. However, there is one more problem. That's the innate treasure. If Yi Tian knew about it, would he be able to bear it? Jian Heng was afraid that Yi Tian would kill people to seize the treasure and snatch their Sword Clan's innate treasure. Patriarch, there is no way to do this, and we won't mention Shanti and Yuanbao, only talk about recovering the ancestor's body. And sign an agreement. Elder Yi Tian should not do this. said the Sword Clan legend to Daojing. Then what kind of treasures are used to impress Yi Tian? Ordinary treasures may not be able to catch his eyes. Jian Heng said. Then, they started discussing. In the end, a legendary Taoist suggested, use the second sequence supreme law items, the low-quality ones. Our Sword Clan also has 6 such low-quality second sequence supreme law items, which have been useless for a long time. It is said that Yi Tian is collecting low-quality second sequence supreme rule items, and with a low-quality second sequence supreme rule item, maybe he can be invited to move him. Then I'll talk to him myself. Zhaneng decided. Supreme Void. Zhaneng came to find Yi Tian, and the two met. Ancient Sword Monarch. Elder Yi. They sat down. What is Gu Zhangdijan looking for from me? Yi Tian asked. Zhaneng didn't beat around the bush, and said directly, Elder Yi, the elders of our clan fell into the legendary Sea of Suffering, and their bodies were left there, but we have no strength and no confidence in taking the corpses of the elders of our clan, so please ask Elder Yi to help us. Legend of the Sea of Bitterness. Yi Tian had heard of this place but didn't know much about it. Emperor Gujian, all the elders have fallen there, my strength is not as good as the elders. Yi Tian said, Nuo's Jiao. Jian Heng hurriedly said, Elder Yi, the strength of the elders is said to be suppressed in Kuai. Elder Yi is not necessarily weaker than ordinary elders in the legend of Kuai. Of course, there are still dangers, but as long as Elder Yi is willing to help, we are willing to take out a low-quality second-order supreme rule item. Is it a low-quality second-order Dao rule item? Yi Tian is a little bit excited. He has the statue of Shantian Yuanbao. After being activated, he can comprehend the items of the second sequence of the rules of the Dao faster. Improve it. Therefore, he was a little moved. 3 items of the second sequence to rule the Dao. Yi Tian demanded. 3 is too many. Zhaneng wants to bargain, but in the end, the two sides still reached a cooperation, and cooperated with 2 items of the second sequence of Supreme Dao rules. Chapter 2902 Entering the Legendary Sea of Bitterness. Subsequently, Yi Tian signed an agreement with the Sword Clan, and the Sword Clan is going to dispatch 3 legends to the Dao realm to follow Yi Tian into the Legendary Sea of Bitterness. During this period, the task of finding the corpses of the elders of the Sword Clan belongs to the Sword Clan, and Yi Tian's task is to protect their safety, nothing more. While heading to the Legendary Sea of Bitterness, Yi Tian also took the time to learn about the Legendary Sea of Bitterness. Although he doesn't care about a duplicate body, at least he has to be responsible. After his understanding, he finally has some understanding of the Legendary Sea of Bitterness. It is said that the Sea of Bitterness is very dangerous, especially in the depths of the Sea of Bitterness, even the elders are at risk of falling if they enter. For example, the elder of the Sword Clan fell into the Legendary Sea of Bitterness. It can be said that the Sea of Bitterness is so dangerous, and there are still legends that go to the Dao realm and even veterans to enter. The reason is that there are many opportunities in the Sea of Legends. Among them, the opportunity that most attracts the elders is the supreme treasure that can transform the legendary body, the legendary ancient sand crystal. It is said that Ji Yu Jing can transform the legendary body of the perfect realm again. For the veterans, in addition to improving their cultivation and comprehending the rules of the highest realm, they want to transform the legendary body, and it is too difficult to transform. It is said that the ancient sand crystal is one of the resources. Therefore, if the veterans wanted to transform the legendary body in 833, so that their strength would skyrocket, they would venture to the Legendary Sea of Bitterness. However, the elders who really fell into the Legendary Sea of Suffering are still very rare. This time, the fall of the veteran of the Sword Clan also exceeded the expectations of the Innate Origin Alliance. After all, the fall of a veteran is also a big loss for the Congenital Origin Alliance. It is said that there is a treasure in the Sea of Bitterness that can transform the legendary body. Maybe after I become a veteran in the future, I have to go there often. Yi Tian secretly thought. After all, he plans to cultivate various legendary bodies. After becoming a veteran, he will have to transform all kinds of legendary bodies, which will require even more resources. Of course, the legendary blood treasure may also be able to assist breakthroughs, but it may not be able to do so, so it is necessary to prepare more good things like the legendary ancient sand crystal. After a period of time, Yi Tian is ready to go to the legendary Sea of Bitterness with the 3 legends of the Sword Clan. The 3 legends of the Sword Clan are Zhaneng, Zhang Linshan, and Zhan Chao, and they are very powerful. Elder Yi, it's all up to you this time. Jian Heng took out a low-grade AHCJ quality second-order Supreme Dao rule item. Our Sword Clan first took out a low-quality second-order Supreme Dao rule item. A regular item, no matter whether this thing is successful or not, a second low-quality second sequence Supreme Dao regular item will be produced afterwards. It is good. Yi Tian accepted it. After, Yi Tian handed this low-quality second-order Supreme Rule item to another duplicate body, and followed them to the legendary Sea of Bitterness. Legend of the Sea of Bitterness. Yi Tian and the others passed through and shuttled back and forth, and it still took a very long time before they arrived here. Legend has it that the Sea of Bitterness seems to be boundless, standing in time and space, and the escaping breath forms a series of time and space tides. From the outside world, the legendary Sea of Bitterness is like an ocean with huge waves, but each wave contains terrifying power, enough to annihilate any legendary god. If you rush in indiscriminately, you will undoubtedly die. At this moment, Jian Heng said, as expected, it is one of the 9th legendary treasure lands in Void Territory, and it is also the first time for us to come here. He didn't rush in, but waited silently. One has to wait for the short period after the waves have subsided, and then shuttle in, so that one can enter the legendary Sea of Misery alive. Soon, the waves passed and everything became calmer. Go in. Yi Tian and they quickly shuttled past. They broke through layers of shackles and successfully entered the legendary Sea of Suffering. Legend of the Sea of Bitterness. Yi Tian and the 3 legends of the Sword Clan came in. They looked at the space-time tide above, and almost in the next moment, there was a huge wave. If it was later, they would be dead. It is said that the Sea of Bitterness is really dangerous. If the strength is weak to the Tao realm, it is impossible to even enter. Yi Tian said with emotion. Elder Yi Tian, we have to find the body of our ancestor. Jian Heng said. Okay, just lead the way, and I will keep you safe. Yi Tian said. At this time, Jian Heng took out a treasure and dripped his own blood into it. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. The blood was absorbed by the treasure, turned into a ray of light, and spread far away. Over there, Jian Heng sensed the location of the ancestor's body through the bloodline connection. If the ancestor was still alive, he would not dare to do this. It would undoubtedly be to investigate the location of the ancestor, and it would definitely arouse the anger of the ancestor. But now that the ancestor has fallen, in order to find the corpse, he can only choose to do so. Swish swish swish, Yi Tian and the 3 legends of the Sword Clan advanced slowly to the Tao realm, not daring to advance too fast in the legendary Sea of Bitterness. It is said that there is a creature called the legendary Bitter Beast living in the Sea of Bitterness. This kind of creature does not have the blood of the legend, and its own strength is not strong. Their strength comes from the legendary Sea of Bitterness. Some veterans took out many legendary bitter beasts, but after these legendary bitter beasts went out, their strength became extremely weak, without any research value. In other words, without the legendary Sea of Bitterness, these legendary bitter beasts are nothing. But in the legendary bitter sea, you have to be careful of these legendary bitter beasts, but the legendary bitter beasts are only a danger, and there are more dangers in the depths of the legendary bitter sea. Some dangers are almost unknown even if they are not encountered, but once they are encountered, even the veterans will perish. Perhaps the elders of the Sword Clan fell like this. Soon, Yi Tian and the others encountered a very terrifying legendary bitter beast. Boom! A legendary bitter beast with a spectacle appearance and countless tentacles emerged from the legendary Sea of Bitterness, attacking Yi Tian and the others. Through copying talent, Yi Tian knew the name of this legendary bitter beast. Open black lens bracket 1000 clawed beast close black lens bracket. The name is very common, but the strength is not weak. Even Jian Heng frowned slightly when he saw it, because the strength of this 10,000 grass beast is no less than him. However, Yi Tian activated the second sequence of Supreme Dao rules, instantly suppressing the 10,000 hands clawed beast, and then activated the dragon scale legendary body, showing a terrifying attack power. Boom! Yi Tian pierced through the opponent's tentacles with a single shot, but he didn't kill him, but severely injured the opponent. Immediately afterwards, Yi Tian's dense attacks descended, obliterating the opponent's body in an instant. Chapter 2903 4 Legendary Bodies. Jian Heng and the others were also shocked by Yi Tian's strength. This kind of strength is even more terrifying than Su Ho back then. Elder Yi's second sequence of Supreme Dao rules is too powerful. Jian Heng and the others thought secretly. Come on, keep going. Yi Tian said. Swish. They move on. Along the way, they often encountered legendary bitter beasts, and it was Yi Tian who took the initiative to kill them. If it wasn't for Yi Tian's action, Jian Heng and the others wouldn't be able to get here at all, and would have died in the hands of these legendary bitter beasts long ago. But as Yi Tian and the others went deeper into the depths of the legendary bitter beast, the danger naturally increased. This day, they encountered a big danger. Boom. It is said that a tornado suddenly rose in the Sea of Bitterness. This is not an ordinary tornado, but a tornado from the Sea of Bitterness. Its terrifying power seems to suck time and space into pieces. Go! Yi Tian pulled Jian Heng and they were about to flee, but they were not pulled by some hidden force. In desperation, they had no choice but to urge the defense with all their strength. And Yi Tian also protected them with the second sequence of supreme principles, forcibly withstood the tearing of the tornado, and was sucked into the space of the tornado's eye. Eye space. It's very peaceful here and there is no danger. However, they are stuck here. Jian Heng slashed over with a sword, but was torn apart by the tornado, unable to tear the tornado apart. Even if they could be torn apart, they would be swept back when they went out. Yi Tian was very calm, but Jian Heng and the others were panicked. After all, if they fall here, they will really fall. It is said that the danger of the Sea of Bitterness is not as simple as we imagined. Jian Heng said in a deep voice. At this time, Jian Heng and the others looked at Yi Tian. Elder Yi, can you break through this tornado? Yi Tian observed for a while. It can't be done at the moment, but the tornado formed suddenly, and there is a high probability that it will stop. If it stops, we can go out and wait here for now. Jian Heng and the others think it makes sense, so they can only wait. As the years passed, they waited silently, waiting for the day when the tornado disappeared. At first, Jian Heng and the others were panicked, but after a long time, they calmed down. As long as he doesn't die, there will be a day to find the ancestor's body. Winter Night Stronghold. Yi Tian is comprehending the items of the second sequence of Supreme Tao rules at this time. He is merging the statue of Shanti and Yuanbao, and then comprehending this second order item of the rule of the Tao. This time the comprehension was completely different from the previous ones. He seemed to be able to comprehend the more advanced second-order Supreme Tao rules easily, and the speed of progress was much faster than before. The years passed. It didn't take too long for his second sequence of Supreme Tao rules to reach 80% of the realm, and it is still improving rapidly. After a period of time, this second sequence Supreme Tao rule item exhausted its original source, and he also successfully raised the second sequence Supreme Tao rule realm to 85% realm. Such progress is simply terrifying. If I get another second sequence Supreme Tao rule item, I can probably raise the second sequence Supreme Tao rule to 90%. Yi Tian estimated. What is the probability that the second sequence of Supreme Tao rules will reach 90% of the state? Most veterans are not as high as his second sequence of Supreme Tao rules. Unknowingly, hundreds of thousands of Tao era years have passed. This day, boom, with the help of the legendary blood treasure, Yi Tian's Chelong legendary body has finally reached the consummation realm. This is also his second most powerful legendary body. You have to cultivate the legendary body of the third Zeon, so let's cultivate the legendary body of the 10,000 blood golden ape. Yi Tian took out the Zeon legendary blood of the 10,000 blood golden ape, swallowed it and refined it. Soon, he obtained the third method of cultivating the legendary body. Open black lens bracket legend of Australopithecus close black lens bracket. Then, he swallowed all kinds of resources, refined the legendary blood treasure, the innate original treasure, and poured in streams of pure special energy to cultivate the legendary body of the ancient ape. Not long after, the legend of the ancient ape was also practiced, successfully getting started. With the cultivation of the third legendary body, his strength is also steadily improving, and his aura is getting stronger and stronger. Unknowingly, hundreds of thousands of Tao era years have passed. Finally, he also cultivated the legendary body of the ancient ape to the perfect state, and started to cultivate the fourth strongest legendary body. At this moment, even he didn't know to what extent his strength had increased, but it must have far surpassed Saho before breaking through. 0. Seeking flowers, 0. For the fourth Zeon legendary body, he chose the Zeon legendary body of the eight-winged golden cicada, and he quickly mastered it, reaching the entry level. Legend of the Sea of Bitterness. Inside the tornado. They have been waiting here for more than 600,000 Tao era years, which is quite a long time for Yi Tian, but for Jian Heng and the others, this time is not too long. Suddenly, Yi Tian said, "The tornado has weakened a little, I will let my other clone come over, and the two will attack together to see if we can break the tornado." Then trouble Elder Yi, Jian Heng said happily. If they could go out earlier, they would naturally have to go out earlier. For them, it is better to find the ancestor's body as soon as possible and get out of the legendary bitter beast as soon as possible. Soon, another duplicate body of Yi Tian rushed to the legendary Sea of Bitterness again. If Yi Tian didn't want to expose the secret of his condensed and duplicated body, he could have condensed a new duplicated body directly in the eye of the wind, so that he could condense a body with 4 powerful legendary bodies. But he didn't want to be exposed, so he could only let the other copy bodies rush past him. After a relatively long period of time passed, Yi Tian's second duplicate body entered the legendary Sea of Misery again, and then rushed over following the connection between the duplicate bodies. Finally, he arrived at the tornado. Coming, Yi Tian opened the mouth and said. Jian Heng and the others became nervous, hoping that Yi Tian could break through the tornado, but they were also afraid that something special would happen, which would make it even more dangerous. It has started. Yi Tian's 2 duplicate bodies shot together. Especially the cloned bodies from the outside world, the Dragon Scale Legendary Body, the Red Dragon Legendary Body, the Ancient Ape Legendary Body, and the Golden Cicada Legendary Body are activated together, plus the 85% terrifying power of the second sequence of Supreme Tao Rules, the Burst Attack Horrible. Boom! With one blow, the tornado was shaken, but not destroyed. Hit after hit. Finally, the tornado was torn apart. Walk! Yi Tian rushed out with Zhaneng and the others, and the second duplicate body was responsible for resisting the tornado and preventing them from being sucked in. Soon, they finally got rid of the tornado and left the area. Chapter 2904 Find the body of the Elder of the Sword Clan. It's finally out. Jian Heng and the others breathed a sigh of relief, as if they had survived the catastrophe. They didn't expect that Yi Tian could really break through the legendary tornado in the Sea of Bitterness, but Yi Tian really did it. At this time, Yi Tian's copy body that has not changed yet said, "Free, my clone will leave first." With that said, his duplicate body left. And another duplicate body continued to take Jian Heng and the others to find the body of the Elder of the Sword Clan. After leaving a certain distance, Yi Tian condensed another duplicate body, and changed this duplicate body, so that the strength of the duplicate body can be kept the same as other duplicate bodies. It is said that the Sea of Bitterness has many opportunities, and there is also the legendary ancient sand crystal that transforms the legendary body. I have to look for it and try to find some. Yi Tian shuttled in the other direction, 257. He is not afraid of falling. If he really falls, he will just condense a duplicate body. Anyway, he was alone, and he was not afraid of being discovered. Soon, he encountered a legendary bitter beast whose strength was equivalent to that of the top legendary Dao realm. Yi Tian urged his Dragon Scale Legendary Body, Red Dragon Legendary Body, Ancient Ape Legendary Body, and Golden Cicada Legendary Body. A terrifying aura erupted, and combined with the second sequence of Supreme Tao Rules, he instantly killed the legendary bitter beast with one blow. Beast, and let the opponent not even scum. It's a terrifying attack. It's too easy to kill these legendary bitter beasts with my current strength. Here, even ordinary veterans are no match for me. Yi Tian murmured. He has never fought against real veterans, but if it is outside, it is estimated that even ordinary veterans who have just broken through are not his opponents. In fact, he is now a veteran combat power. Gradually, Yi Tian's duplicate body also penetrated into the depths of the legendary Sea of Suffering. Islands. Yi Tian saw a huge island and immediately shuttled over. He learned that it is said that the good things in the Sea of Bitterness can only be found in some islands, and that there is nothing good in the bottom of the Sea of Legend, so he didn't waste time in the bottom area of the sea. However, when he came near the island, he didn't go in immediately. In perception, this island seems to have the ability to devour him, as if it wants to devour him. It is full of unknown dangers. It is said that in the Sea of Bitterness, any opportunity is accompanied by danger, and this island is also the same, but the more dangerous the place, the more opportunities there will be. Yi Tian thought to himself. He shot directly and attacked the island. The densely packed second sequence of Supreme Tao Rules spans the void, enveloping the island from all directions of time and space, trying to smash it into pieces. At this time, vines spread out from inside the island, and each vine contained terrifying power. Boom! A terrifying legendary bitter beast appeared, composed of countless vines. Its strength was much stronger than the legendary bitter beasts encountered before. Open black lens bracket vine monster close black lens bracket. This is the name detected by the copy talent. The strength is very strong, but it can still be dealt with. Yi Tian shot and killed the past. Boom! Under the constant fighting, this area seemed to be smashed countless times. The vines of the City Vine Temple Demon were also crushed by Yi Tian with great strength. Time passed slowly, and the giant vine monster was getting more and more injured, but it couldn't escape from here. In the end, he was bombarded and killed by Yi Tian, and his body was broken into countless fragments and fell on the island. Subsequently, Yi Tian walked on the island and started looking for good things. Soon, he found the treasure in the giant vine monster's lair. It was a white stone covered with various patterns, exuding a strange atmosphere. This is the legendary ancient tooth stone. Yi Tian recognized it. The legendary ancient tartar is the same as the legendary ancient sand crystal. Both are treasures that help the transformation of the legendary body, but the grade of the legendary ancient tartar is slightly inferior, but it is still of great value. If the number is large enough, the legendary body can still be transformed. And the legendary ancient tartar here is not just a little bit, but a vein of minerals. Subsequently, Yi Tian started mining, digging out the legendary ancient tartar here bit by bit. Not long after, he dug away tens of thousands of pieces of legendary ancient tartar. Afterwards, he continued to search for resources on this island, but he only found some less precious resources, which might be of high value to ordinary legendary Dao realms, but they were of little value to him. Of course, he also took it away. He didn't need it, he could throw it into the human temple, let those strong human beings exchange it, and cultivate the strong human race. The other side, Yi Tian, Jian Heng and the others gradually went deeper into the legendary sea of bitterness, and the dangers here became more and more, and the legendary bitter beasts they encountered became more and more powerful. At this time, Jian Heng said, "Elder Yi, the residence of our ancestors of the Sword Clan is not far from here." Hearing this, the other two Sword Clan legends to Dao Realm breathed a sigh of relief. Along the way, they encountered too many dangers. They really didn't want to stay here any longer. It would be great if they could find them as soon as possible. We have to be careful, the closer we are, the more dangerous it is. Yi Tian said. Yes, Jian Heng nodded in approval. Even the patriarchs at the senior level have fallen, so they naturally have to be extremely careful. In the next area, they found that they had not encountered a legendary bitter beast. This is not a good thing. This means that this area is really dangerous, even those legendary bitter beasts dare not enter. It's almost there. Jian Heng was very nervous. And Yi Tian covers the surroundings with the duplication talent all the time, to detect unknown creatures and prevent danger. Moreover, his strength is concealed, ready to strike at any time. It's an island. Yi Tian saw it, and soon, Jian Heng and the others also saw it. This is an unimaginably huge island, and on the island, there are 5.2 corpses of a large number of strange creatures. In the depths of the island, a middle-aged man knelt down there, and a big hole was opened in his body. It's the ancestor. Jian Heng revealed a look of sadness. The veteran of the Sword Clan, Jian Zan. Yi Tian was puzzled. The creatures on this island don't seem to be strong. Why Zhanshuan didn't even escape, and died here in battle. He used the copying talent to probe, but he could only probe the surface. A force deep in the island blocked his copying talent perception. Obviously, there are more dangerous things on the island. However, Zhanshuan should be able to sense it, but he still ran to the island and died in battle. This is very strange, unless Zhanshuan saw something that made him extremely long for it, and was ready to fight for his life, but he lost in the end. Yi Tian guessed. Chapter 2905 Spirit of Legend, Spirit of Legend. The three of you stay here, I'll go in and have a look. Yi Tian said. It is good. Jian Heng and the others nodded repeatedly. They didn't dare to go in, otherwise, no matter how powerful Yi Tian was, he might not be able to protect them. Wow, Yi Tian shuttled to the island, which was full of countless murderous intentions. The aura left by the Great War still did not dissipate. If the ordinary legendary Dao realm entered here, it would be obliterated by the murderous intentions here. But for him, this is not dangerous. He moved quickly and approached Zhanshuan's body. At this moment, danger came. Around, a large number of legendary bitter beasts appeared, which seemed to emerge from a lair in the middle of the island. But these legendary bitter beasts are all very weak legendary bitter beasts, and they are just numerous. Boom! Yi Tian took action to kill these legendary bitter beasts. All of them were killed in seconds. Jian Heng and the others have been watching the situation inside the island, and they are still quite nervous. They hope that Yi Tian will quickly bring out the ancestor's body, and then they can escape. In a short time, Yi Tian killed all these legendary 07 bitter beasts, but then a bigger crisis came. 4 transparent humanoid creatures emerged all around, each exuding the terrifying second-order supreme law, and the terrifying breath even permeated many territories outside the island. Jian Heng and the others looked at these 4 transparent humanoid creatures, and their expressions changed dramatically. They remembered a legend. Spirit of Legend. It is said that there are legendary spirits in the Sea of Bitterness, and every legendary spirit cannot be dealt with by the highest level of legend. Immediately afterwards, they finally found out why the ancestor died here, but did not escape. The place where the spirit of legend is, must have given birth to a legendary spirit. Every legendary spirit can make a legend reach the Taoist realm to break through into a veteran, and it can also make a veteran's cultivation breakthrough easily break through the body of the legend. The bottleneck can even change the foundation, make the foundation stronger, and permanently improve the understanding. Jian Heng thought secretly. Rumor has it that the top 10 veterans in the Congenital Origin Alliance have all obtained legendary spiritual objects. Their foundations were not strong at first, and they were far inferior to those veterans who walked the path from the strongest to the Tao. However, after having the legendary spiritual objects, the foundation gap it was made up, even if there is still a gap, but the gap is not big. Therefore, the most powerful veterans of the Congenital Origin Alliance are not the veterans who walk the road of being the strongest. The ancestor wanted to obtain the legendary spiritual item, so he desperately tried his best, but after being hit hard, he wanted to escape but it was too late. Jianeng and the others almost predicted the situation. And Yi Tian also guessed it. The spirit of legend. Yi Tian didn't want to fight with the 4 legendary spirits, so he rushed directly to Jianshuan's body. Boom! The 4 legendary spirits attacked Yi Tian, and Yi Tian fought with him, and the 4 most powerful legendary bodies erupted. This was also his true strength in front of Jian Heng and the others. Boom! Horrific battles engulfed all around. This scene also left Jian Heng and the others dumbfounded. 4 Xeon legendary bodies. Jian Heng couldn't believe it, and even suspected that he was wrong. But the 3 of them looked at each other, and they were sure it was not a mistake. Elder Yi walked the path of the strongest to the Tao, and cultivated the legendary body of the strongest. Not only has he cultivated to the consummation state, but he has also cultivated 4 kinds of legendary bodies. Although the 4th legendary body has not yet been consummated, but that's an exaggeration. How did Elder Yi do it? Maybe Elder Yi's body has already broken through. It's just that he hasn't shown it, and this is his true strength. That's the only possibility. Of course, they didn't think of Shanti and Yuanbao. After all, they had never heard of Shanti and Yuanbao that can assist in the cultivation of legendary bodies, so they didn't think of it. Under the siege of the 4 legendary spirits, Yi Tian came to the position of Jianshuan's body by force, took it away, and then rushed out of here quickly. Certainly, he also let Jian Heng and the others go first, otherwise Jian Heng and the others would be dead if the legendary spirit chased them over. Swish! Yi Tian rushed out from the island, and then fled quickly. And the legendary spirit did chase it out, but it didn't take long before it returned. It seems that the legendary spirit will not chase it out for too long in order to harvest the legendary spirit. Yi Tian thought to himself. After a while, he met Jian Heng and the others again. He didn't covet Jianshuan's corpse, and he also knew that Jianshuan's corpse was not simple, and there might be good things hidden in it, but there was no need for that. There is no need for him to offend the Sword Clan, even if the Sword Clan has no elders now, who knows if there will be one in the future. Moreover, the Sword Clan has a high right to speak in the Congenital Origin Alliance. Even if he is not afraid, but human beings will integrate into the Congenital Origin Alliance in the future, they have to establish a good relationship. This is the body of your ancestor, take a look. Yi Tian said. Jian Heng immediately put away the ancestor's body and took a sneak peek. The original treasure is still there. He breathed a sigh of relief. Immediately, he quickly thanked. Thank you, Elder Yi. Come on, we have to get out. Yi Tian said. Good. Jianeng 900 and the others quickly responded. They don't want to stay here anymore, otherwise it's too dangerous. Then, they return. Along the way, they encountered many legendary bitter beasts again, but they were all dealt with by Yi Tian. At the same time, Yi Tian's other duplicate bodies rushed to the legendary spirit. He was going to kill the 4 legendary spirits and seize the legendary spirits. After a period of time, another copy body of Yi Tian rushed here, and then began to gather more and more copy bodies. The 6 duplicate bodies were successfully condensed. 6 hits 4, there's nothing wrong with fixing it. Yi Tian entered the island. Soon, 4 legendary spirits appeared, fighting with Yi Tian's 6 duplicate bodies. Yi Tian had to admit that the strength of the 4 legendary spirits was still very strong, second only to his cloned body, but not as many as his cloned body, so they would definitely be defeated by him. Boom! After a long time, Yi Tian took the lead in killing a legendary spirit, completely breaking up its body and annihilating it. After that, Yi Tian killed the other legendary spirits one by one. Finally, the 4 legendary spirits all fell. Immediately, Yi Tian entered the lair of the legendary spirit, looking for the unknown legendary spirit. Chapter 2906. The second sequence of Supreme Tao rules is complete. Legendary Spirit Lair. This is a huge void, and there are still many legendary bitter beasts at this time, but they are all weak. After Yi Tian entered here, these legendary bitter beasts besieged Yi Tian, but they were all solved by Yi Tian. In a short while, all the legendary bitter beasts here were wiped out. After that, he slowly searched for the legendary spirit. Soon, he found the legendary spirit object, and not one, but 4 legendary spirit objects. In front of Yi Tian, 4 white flowers were born. These white flowers are legendary spiritual objects, which contain special power. The 4 legendary spirits, if you cultivate elders, you can completely cultivate 4 elders. Yi Tian said with a smile. Any elder who sees these 4 legendary spirits will feel greedy, but now these 4 legendary spirits are in his hands. It's still luck. If I don't help the Sword Clan, I won't be able to get these 4 legendary spirits. Yi Tian put away these 4 legendary spirit objects and left here quickly. After a period of time, Jianeng and the others came out of the legendary Sea of Bitterness and successfully returned to Jianyu. After coming back, they couldn't wait to take out the innate treasure from the ancestor's body, and buried the ancestor's body in the Jianyu sword. And they told the story of the legendary Bitter Sea, and they all marveled at Yi Tian's strength. Suddenly, an elder from the legendary Dao realm said, "Patriarch, if the legendary spirit appears, there must be a legendary spirit. It is a legendary spirit. Our Sword Clan can't get it. Do you want to sell the news to the top elders?" Jian Heng immediately refused. "Don't do this. Do you think Yi Tian will have no idea about the legendary spirit? He can escape from the siege of the 4 legendary spirits. If he sends all his avatars there, it is possible to kill the 4 legendary spirits. Therefore, the legendary spirits may have fallen into the hands of Yi Tian. At this time, we will sell the information to the top veterans. The top veterans have not found anything in the past, will they be angry? Our Sword Clan, we will offend Yi Tian, the loss outweighs the gain. In short, don't talk about this matter." Yes, many legends have come to the Taoist realm. Legend of the Sea of Bitterness. Yi Tian's duplicated bodies are still wandering around here, but one of the duplicated bodies has already brought out the legendary spirit and some resources, otherwise it would be a big loss if it accidentally falls here. As for other duplicating bodies, they spread out and searched for various resources. Gradually, Yi Tian's harvest naturally became more and more. Similar to the resources of the legendary ancient Tartar, he also found some, but occasionally encountered danger, leading to the fall of the duplicate body. This day, a duplicate body of Yi Tian encountered a fatal crisis in the depths of the legendary Bitter Sea. He was in the process of shuttling, when he was suddenly sucked by a sea vortex in the legendary Bitter Sea, and then he was directly strangled without any resistance. In such a situation, it is unlucky, and there is no other calendar. Moreover, there are many terrifying legendary bitter beasts in the deepest part of the legendary Sea of Bitterness. The power of the legendary Bitter Sea that they can borrow is very terrifying, even stronger than the legendary spirit. The point is, even if you try your best to kill them, you won't get any benefit. Therefore, when encountering these terrifying legendary bitter beasts, Yi Tian always avoids them and does not fight them. The years passed. Yi Tian gained more and more. Winter Night Stronghold. Yi Tian has exhausted the second low-quality second sequence supreme rule item given by the Sword Clan at this moment, and has successfully comprehended the second sequence supreme Tao rule to 90% of the state, but it is still far away from the second sequence perfect Tao rule quite a bit. Therefore, he needs more items of the second sequence of supreme Tao rules. It's a pity that it is said that the Sea of Bitterness does not give birth to the items of the rule of the Tao. Yi Tian regretted. However, he can use resources such as legendary ancient tooth stones and legendary ancient sand crystals to exchange low-quality items of the second sequence of supreme principles with the elders. He thought that there would definitely be veterans who would trade with him. Supreme Void. Yi Tian issued a task in the Supreme Heaven Palace, using the legendary ancient Tartar to trade low-quality second-order supreme rule items. The specific transaction is negotiable. This task is to trade with the elders, and the elders will definitely know, it depends on who traded with him. Sure enough, not long after, an elder contacted Yi Tian. Supreme Void. Yi Tian met with the elder Hai Lao. "Hai Lao, you want to trade my legendary ancient tooth stone?" Yi Tian asked. "Yes." Hai Lao nodded. "My legendary body is only one step away from transformation, and I don't have enough resources, and the legendary ancient tooth stone is useful to me, and I do use the low-quality second order to Dao rule items. How many legendary ancient tooth stones can be exchanged for a second sequence to Dao rule items? Yi Tian said his own price. A low-quality second sequence supreme rule item can be exchanged for 100 pieces of legendary ancient tooth stones. Hai Lao was also very straightforward, did not ask for a price increase, and directly traded with Yi Tian. Soon, Hai Lao came to Winter Night Stronghold, completed the deal with Yi Tian, and then left Winter Night Stronghold to go back to retreat. A dignified veteran, unexpectedly only a low-quality second-order supreme rule item. Yi Tian said with emotion. It can be seen that the items of the second sequence of supreme rules are really rare, even if they are of low quality, they are not easy to find. Soon after, another elder traded with him. In this way, Yi Tian obtained more and more low-quality items of the second series of Supreme Dao. Winter Night Stronghold, Yi Tian continued to integrate into the statue of Shantian Yuanbao, and then comprehended the second sequence of the rule items of the Dao Good King. Now, he has traded 6 items of the second sequence Supreme Law, and 2 of them contain a lot of second sequence Supreme Law origins. There is a high probability that he can comprehend the second sequence Supreme Law to a 100% level. Time flies, time flies. Before you know it, another long time has passed. As one after another low-quality second-order road rules items were consumed, Yi Tian's second-order lane rules gradually reached a 10% perfect state. The second sequence of Supreme Dao rules is complete. Yi Tian is very excited, his strength is much stronger now. Moreover, his golden cicada legendary body is about to reach the level of perfection. Once it is perfect, he has to prepare to practice the 5th Xian legendary body. Another long time passed. Yi Tian's golden cicada legend body has reached the perfect state, and he is ready to practice the 5th Xian legendary gap. Chapter 2907 Legendary River Abyss. For the 5th strongest legendary body, choose the legendary body of the Dark Night Lizard. Yi Tian took out the Xian legendary blood of the Dark Night Lizard, swallowed it in one gulp, and slowly refined it. Gradually, he acquired the method of cultivating the most powerful legendary body of the Night Ancient Lizard, the Ancient Lizard legendary body. Afterwards, he mobilized the legendary blood treasure to absorb various resources to cultivate the legendary body of the Ancient Lizard. After a period of time, the legendary body of the Ancient Lizard also got started. The body of the 6 strongest legends, my current strength has reached an unimaginable level. If I cultivate the legendary body of the Ancient Lizard to a perfect state, I am afraid that the ghost hand can kill ordinary veterans. Yi Tian muttered. However, he is currently in a very awkward situation. The first is that the Xian legendary blood is almost running out, and he has to leave a copy for his son, so he needs a lot of Xian legendary blood. The second is to find a way to obtain a low-quality first-order Supreme Dao rule item, but it may be difficult to obtain, and it is estimated that only the top 10 veterans of the Innate Origin Alliance may have it. But those veterans don't like many things, so it's impossible to trade with him, right? We still have to find a way to get more blood of Xian Legend 053. As for the first sequence of Supreme Dao rule items, let's talk about it later. Subsequently, Yi Tian collected information about the Xian legendary blood. First of all, it is impossible to trade the Congenital Origin Alliance, and all the major forces are short of it. Even if they get it, they will be used up quickly, and it is almost impossible to trade it. But, after Yi Tian inquired again and again, he really knew that there might be Xian legendary creatures in a place. This place is the 6th legendary treasure land of Void Territory, Legend Heiyuan. It is said that there are many legendary creatures living in the depths of the River Abyss, but no one dared to enter the legendary River Abyss. Veterans, and not just ordinary veterans, change the rules of Legend Heiyuan by themselves. The one who can mobilize the power of the entire legendary River Abyss, in the legendary River Abyss, the top elders will be suppressed and killed by him. Both the Congenital Origin Alliance and the Void Demon of the Supreme Dao wanted to lure that legendary creature out, but the other party just wouldn't come out. Therefore, neither the Congenital Original Realm Alliance nor the legendary Supreme Dao realm of the Supreme Dao Void Demon dared to enter. But, that legendary creature will not protect other legendary creatures. If he mixes in and kills other legendary creatures, there will be no problem. It is said that once the Supreme Dao realm and the Supreme Dao Void Demon enter, they will be sensed by the other party, but as long as I condense a copy body of a legendary creature and then enter, there will be no problem. Yi Tian murmured, then let's go to the legendary River Abyss. Yi Tian left Winter Night Fortress, and then shuttled continuously all the way. This day, Yi Tian came to Legend Heiyuan. It is said that Heiyuan is like a supreme and terrifying existence, as if a sword tore a hole in the imaginary domain. At this time, it is said that Heiyuan exudes a terrifying aura all the time, which makes Yi Tian feel a little startled. As expected of the legendary river abyss, Yi Tian praised. He wouldn't try to go in, otherwise it would alarm that legendary creature, which would be bad. That legendary creature is usually sleeping or practicing. If it is not disturbed, it can sneak in. If it is disturbed and the other party pays attention, it will be a big deal. Let's condense 10,000 blood golden apes. Yi Tian quickly condensed the 10,000 blood golden ape to copy the body. Afterwards, he tempered the duplicate body with the second sequence of supreme rules, and the aura was continuously strengthened. Let's go in first. Yi Tian's 10,000 blood golden ape duplicated his body and entered the legendary river abyss. A wave swept across his body, but did not hurt him. AHCH. This should be the detection mechanism of the legendary Heiyuan. If it detects that I am a legendary creature, it will not trigger a killing array. Yi Tian guessed. Subsequently, he saw a lot of legendary creatures along the way as he shuttled through the legendary river abyss. This is indeed a paradise for legendary creatures, but many legendary creatures are very powerful. If he wants to kill the most powerful legendary creatures, he must improve the cultivation level of this cloned body. He originally wanted to copy the red flame three-headed dragon directly, but his cultivation level was not as good as the opponent's, so he couldn't copy it. He could only copy the 10,000 blood golden ape with a weaker cultivation level first. As long as he was given a period of time, he could copy this legendary creature. As soon as your cultivation base is improved, you can kill those Xeon legendary creatures at that time. Soon, Yi Tian found an area in the legendary Heiyuan, settled down here, and then began to practice. At the same time, he will also communicate with other legendary creatures to obtain information here. Gradually, he learned more about the legendary Heiyuan. It is said that Heiyuan has more than 100 Xeon legendary creatures. Yi Tian was extremely surprised. This is a lot. If you kill more, you will get more than 100 copies of Xeon legendary blood. In addition, he also learned that there is a forbidden area in the legendary Heiyuan, and no legendary creatures are allowed to enter, otherwise they will surely die. There was once an extremely powerful legendary creature who broke into it and fell directly. That should be the place where the legendary creature comparable to the top veteran retreated. Yi Tian secretly thought. The years passed. The cultivation base of Yi Tian's duplicated body has gradually improved, and with the second sequence of Supreme Tao rules to continuously temper the physical body, the strength naturally skyrocketed. Coupled with Yi Tian's continuous plundering of resources here, it is not difficult to improve his cultivation. After about 100,000 Tao era, the cultivation of Yi Tian, the copy body of the 10,000 blood golden ape, has been upgraded to the late legendary stage, which is equivalent to the state of the late stage of the legendary Tao realm. It's almost there. With my second sequence of Supreme Tao rules, it's not difficult to kill ordinary Xeon legendary creatures. Yi Tian secretly thought. Moreover, he also inquired about the strongest legendary creatures, and he looked for the weakest one first. It is said that somewhere in the deep river. This is the territory of the strongest legendary creature dragon monkey, but Yi Tian has sneaked into it. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Yi Tian directly attacked and killed dragon monkey. The dragon monkey's cultivation base is only at the late stage of the legendary level, and its strength is the weakest among these extremely powerful legendary level creatures. The second sequence of Supreme Tao rules broke out, directly suppressing and killing the opponent. Immediately afterwards, Yi Tian put away the dragon monkey corpse and was about to leave. Afterwards, he prepared to attack and kill the second Xeon legendary creature. Chapter 2908 Legendary Guwu was discovered. The second most powerful legendary level creature Yi Tian wanted to kill was called the Void Ancient Snake. It was also a late-stage legendary level creature, but its strength was slightly stronger than that of Dragon Monkey. Soon, Yi Tian came to the Ancient Void Snake. At this time, the Ancient Void Snake was sleeping in its lair. The Ancient Void Snake has a huge body, with countless transparent scales on its body. These revealing scales exude a strange light and contain terrifying defensive power. Moreover, each scale contains many voids, and the scales that attack it will be offset by layers of voids. Therefore, the most powerful part of the Ancient Void Snake is defense and life preservation. When Yi Tian descended here, the ripples attracted the attention of this Ancient Void Snake. Boom! The legendary creature Void Snake opened its eyes and locked onto Yi Tian. Immediately, it was gone. In an instant, the attack of the ancient void snake descended. A lot of time and space are shattered one after another, and the node where countless time and space are compressed is the position where Yi Tian stands. It wants to kill Yi Tian in one fell swoop. However, compared with Yi Tian, its strength is still far behind. Break. Yi Tian's second sequence of Supreme Tao rules forcibly shattered these time and space, and immediately punched the body of the ancient void snake. The many void scales on its body were smashed one by one. Even after many void reductions, it was still useless. Puff. Yi Tian's punch pierced the opponent's body directly, and then a series of attacks came, breaking his body abruptly. Void Ancient Snake, fall. The second Xeon legendary blood is here. Yi Tian put away the corpse of the ancient void snake, and then left. In the days that followed, Yi Tian continued to attack and kill Xeon legendary creatures one by one, killing 6 of them before preparing to send the 6 corpses out. After all, if it is discovered by the legendary creature that is comparable to the top veteran, it will fall short. Legend has it that Heiyuan exits. Yi Tian's copy body of 10,000 blood golden ape came out successfully. Then, he handed over the corpses of 6 Xeon legendary creatures to his real body to copy the bodies, and then quickly sent them back to Winter Night Fortress. Certainly, Yi Tian's copy body of 10,000 blood golden ape returned to Legend Heiyuan again. With only 6 Xeon legendary bloods, he naturally despises them, so he needs more legendary bloods. In addition, he will also kill more top-level legendary creatures and ordinary legendary creatures by the way, and collect a large amount of top-level legendary blood and ordinary legendary blood. In the incomparably ancient years, it must have been very easy for the Congenital Origin Alliance to collect top-level legendary blood and ordinary legendary blood, but it became difficult after the terrifying legendary creature was born in the legendary Heiyuan. Yi Tian secretly thought. The years passed. The legendary blood collected by Yi Tian is naturally more and more, and the human race does not need to worry about the legendary blood in the future. But just when Yi Tian killed 29 Xeon legendary level creatures and sent them out, and was about to continue killing Xeon legendary level creatures, a breath of terror that made him despair descended. Boom! Near the duplicated body of the 10,000 blood golden ape, a terrifying golden crow appeared, with a pair of golden eyes fixed on Yi Tian. Open black lens bracket legend Guru close black lens bracket. The opponent's aura was too terrifying, far surpassing that of ordinary veterans. Moreover, he couldn't move anymore and was directly locked. 1000 blood golden ape, you have killed so many legendary creatures in this period of time, and even sent the legendary Heiyuan. Besides, you are not a legendary creature of the legendary Heiyuan. You must be the pet of those hateful guys from the outside world. You are a legendary creature, but you are relying on those guys, you should die. Immediately afterwards, Yi Tian's duplicated body burned up and turned into ashes in an instant. Legend has it that it is outside the deep river. Yi Tian frowned slightly. It's a pity that it was discovered. Moreover, it attracted the attention of legendary Ji Yu Wu. Even if he copied other legendary creatures and sneaked in, he would still be discovered. Forget it, it's time to go. Yi Tian returned to Winternight Hold. The years that followed. Yi Tian specialized in cultivating the Xeon legendary body. After a long time, he successfully cultivated the ancient lizard legendary body to the perfect state, and began to cultivate the 7th Xeon legendary body. Next, he will practice more Xeon legendary body to see how many Xeon legendary body he can cultivate. Human domain. At this time, the human race temple was very lively. Yi Tian brought a lot of legendary blood here, and let the strong people of the race exchange it. 0 seeking flowers. It's just that the requirements for exchange are very high, and there are very few people in the 9th level to Dao realm. This day, Yi Wuan, a newly promoted genius of the human race, came to the human temple. Yi Wuan is a descendant of Yi Xingqian, belonging to an unknown number of generations, but his talent is very high. He has been cultivated by Yi Xingqian, and now his cultivation has reached the 9th level to the peak of Dao realm. However, he is only walking the ordinary road, and he does not have the background to walk the road of the strongest to the best. Now, he has accumulated enough contribution points to exchange for items of the 4th sequence of Supreme Dao rules and a piece of legendary blood. Soon, he exchanged successfully. After that, Yi Wuan went to retreat to practice. After a period of time, Yi Wuan comprehended the 4th sequence of Supreme Dao rules, and successfully broke through to the legendary Supreme Dao realm. 0. In the years that followed, there were more and more legends to the Dao realm of the human race. Although they were all common legends to the Dao realm, their number increased too fast. One must know that forces such as the Su clan, the Sword clan, and the Qin clan have accumulated so many legendary Supreme Dao realms through countless years and countless trillions of Supreme Dao eras. However, the human race has produced so many legendary Dao realms in a short period of time. When the news spread, other forces envied it. Deep in the human realm, in a majestic palace, Yi Tian and his wife all live here. This day, Yi Xingqian came to visit his father Yi Tian. Father, the human race has now born 20 legends to the Dao realm. Shouldn't the resources suitable for the legendary Dao realm be placed in the human race temple and let them exchange them? Yi Xingqian asked. It is indeed necessary to put those resources in the human temple. Yi Tian casually took out a bunch of resources and handed them over to Yi Xingqian. Xingqian, you put these resources in the human race temple. Remember, you still need a high enough contribution value to exchange them, and you can't give them for nothing. Yi Tian urged. Yes, Yi Xingqian responded. Not long after Yi Xingqian left, Yi Tian suddenly received a message from Su Yuan. Elder Su Yuan came to me and asked me to go to the headquarters of the Shantian United League. Yi Tian immediately let one of his duplicate bodies pass by. It should be a big deal, otherwise he wouldn't be allowed to go to the headquarters of the Congenital Origin Alliance in person. Chapter 2909 Guyuan Realm, the first elder appears. The headquarters of the Congenital Origin Alliance. Yi Tian came here and met a lot of elders. Elder Su Yuan was also here, but his face was a little pale, as if he was seriously injured. Elder Su Yuan, what's wrong with you? Yi Tian asked curiously. Su Yuan smiled and said, it's okay, it's just to revive my grandson, it's just a backlash and it hasn't recovered yet. Resurrection. Yi Tian understood that the backlash he received was not light, and it would take a long time to recover. It is estimated that Elder Su Yuan had to rely on the primordial boundary flower that he traded to him, so that he could successfully resurrect his grandson. Therefore, he didn't ask any more questions. However, Su Yuan, who was recovering from his wounds, was called. It must be a big event. Even Su Yuan had to leave the customs. And Yi Tian also saw Sohos, 253, and the other party also came. There are also many veterans, all of whom gathered at the headquarters of the Congenital Origin Alliance. Elder Su Yuan, what happened? Yi Tian asked curiously. However, Elder Su Yuan said, Yi Tian, you will find out later. Seeing this, Yi Tian didn't ask any more questions. Apart from him, there are only a dozen or so legends who are almost invincible in the legendary realm, and some of them have never even seen him, and they have been in seclusion for countless years. The results are also out. After almost all arrived, an elder appeared. Meet the first elder, many elders said respectfully. Yi Tian also shouted, but in fact it was the first time he had seen this first method. This first elder is one of the founders of the Congenital Origin Alliance, and is also the oldest elder. No one knows what level of strength he has reached. The first elder is a special life born in the imaginary realm, and later came to the Congenital Origin Alliance to help the Congenital Origin Alliance develop. Therefore, the first elder is not dragged down by the ethnic group, he is an ethnic group alone. Therefore, the first elder formulated a series of policies that are more friendly to the weak, otherwise the innate origin alliance would have been controlled by these ethnic groups long ago. After the first elder arrived, he said, everyone, things happened suddenly. Some elders were even involved in very important matters, and I called them back, but this matter is too important, so I called you all to be present. The legendary masters who didn't understand the truth of the matter were still listening, wanting to know what happened. The first elder continued. Not long ago, the ancient abyss world appeared. Maybe some of you don't know the ancient abyss world, so let me tell you. There are many opportunities in the ancient abyss world. When the ancient abyss world was born, cultivated the 10th veteran, the 11th veteran, the 12th veteran, and the 16th veteran for the Congenital Origin Alliance, and also trained many top veterans. The ancient abyss realm not only contains innate original treasures, but also many pieces, and also contains many items of the rule of the Supreme Way, even the first sequence of items of the rule of the highest way. Of course, the most important thing is that there is still a treasure in the Guyuan realm, Guyuan fruit. By now, Gu Yuan Guo should have matured. Gu Yuan Guo has a 10% chance of helping an existence like me continue to break through, and it will also help the number 1 demon lord of the Zidao Void Momogu lineage to break through. His strength is already above mine. If he breaks through, our entire the innate original domain alliance will be destroyed. Upon hearing this, all the elders' expressions changed dramatically. If Gu Yuangguo is really robbed by the void demon of the Supreme Tao, then the Congenital Origin Alliance will be in danger. First Elder, do you want us to snatch Gu Yuangguo? Asked one of the elders. The first elder shook his head. Naturally not, even if you snatch the Gu Yuan fruit, the first demon will not let me have a chance to refine it, and will definitely do everything to invade the Innate Origin Alliance, and even he will do it himself. In this way, the void demons of the Supreme Tao may suffer heavy losses, leaving only a few void demons of the Supreme Tao, but we will perish. The other elders didn't refute. Their Innate Origin Alliance is indeed in a weak position and dare not really set off such a war of genocide. Then what does the first elder mean? Another elder asked. Destroy Guyuangguo at all costs. The first elder also said slightly emotionally. Who wouldn't want to break through? However, he knew that he had no chance to get the Guyuan fruit, so it would be better to destroy it, so that everyone would have no hope of breaking through. First elder, the elder seems unable to enter Guyuan Spring, right? The 13th patriarch said. The first elder smiled and said, of course I know why the elder entered the ancient abyss world, but by paying a certain price, you can still deceive the rules of the ancient abyss world and let the elder enter it, but you can't stay in it for too long, and fight with all your strength. Fighting, after a long time, will still be excluded. With that said, the first elder took out an item. This is the heavenly secret token that I refined. I used countless precious materials, just for this one time. But it can only be used to enter from the mythical level to the early stage of Tao realm, and the mythical level to the middle stage of Tao realm cannot use the heavenly secret token to enter. Quote. The first elder said, the cultivation level of the elders is called the mythical Tao realm, and the elders like Su Yuan are in the early stage of the mythical Tao realm, but it is very difficult to reach the middle stage of the mythical Tao realm. Therefore, many elders have this cultivation base, and they can enter with the help of heavenly orders. Everyone, I have only refined 26 heavenly secret tokens in total. The 26 most powerful elders among you who have reached the early stage of the Tao realm go in. This is an order. The first elder ordered. It was a matter of life and death for the Congenital Origin Alliance, and he did not allow the elders to hide behind for their own lives at this time. In that case, he wouldn't mind beheading it with his own hands. I go. Saho stood up and said. Su Yuan wanted to stop him, but he also knew that Su Ho was indeed capable, so even if he didn't want to go, he would still be selected. Subsequently, a total of 4.8 elders all stood up, and some elders who were unwilling to stand up were also named by the first elder. And who is strong and who is weak, everyone knows more or less, and it is impossible to hide it. After a while, 20 veterans were elected. The strength of the elders will be suppressed, and the top legends to the Tao realm will have to go in. A dozen of you have been selected, so you must go in too. The first elder stared at Yi Tian and the dozen or so legends to the Tao realm and ordered. Yes, Yi Tian and other legends responded to Taoism. At this time, Yi Tian said again, First elder, I can send 6 clones in. Permit, the first elder replied. For the first elders, Yi Tian and other legends are just a little bit of hope, and it really depends on these elders. Chapter 2910 Go to the Ancient Abyss Realm. These veterans each hold a secret order, and Yi Tian and the others are also ready. The first elder personally escorted the past, and let these elders, as well as Yi Tian and the dozen or so legendary Tao realm, go to the Ancient Abyss Realm. The Guyuan realm is far away from the Congenital Origin Alliance, and even the first elder would have to spend a lot of time to send them there. Mogu lineage. On a majestic throne, a supreme Tao demon with a large number of black scales and 6 black horns sat on it. He is the number 1 Mogu of the Mogu lineage, Mogu. The Zhidaoshumo lineage was almost created by him based on his own blood, and gradually developed into the current Mogu lineage. At this time, many demon venerables and top demon masters from the Mogu lineage and other lines gathered here. The Gu Yuan realm has appeared, and this demon venerable is bound to obtain the Gu Yuan fruit. If he obtains the Gu Yuan fruit, this demon venerable can continue to take this step. These are the 32 Mogu tokens that this demon venerable refined, able to let 30 junior mythical demons enter. Just you 32 demon lords, let's go in this time. The 32 Mazan 07 didn't dare to refute Mogu's order, and responded one after another, yes, Lord number 1 Mazan. The top demon master, let me all go in. Mogu ordered. Those dozens of demon masters didn't dare to resist, even if they knew that they would die easily if they went in, they had to go in. If they didn't go in, the Mogu would kill them on the spot. The Zidao Void Demon side is not as benevolent as the Congenital Origin Alliance, they can kill whoever they want. I must obtain the Guyuan fruit at all costs. If the legendary Dao Void Demon obtains the Guyuan fruit, I guarantee that he will become the Demon Lord, and he will also be a top Demon Lord. If the Demon Lord obtains the Guyuan fruit, I guarantee that he will become the top 10 Demon Lord. The Mogu promised. Many Demon Lords knew that the number 1 Demon Lord never joked. He would kill whoever he said he would kill, but he would also give benefits if he said he would give benefits. Therefore, they are extremely excited at the moment. If they obtain the Gu Yuan fruit and dedicate it to the first Demon Lord, they will become the top 10 Demon Lord themselves. How terrifying their strength will be. After all, among the top 10 Demon Lords, apart from the number 1 Demon Lord Mogu, there is not much difference in the strength of the other 9 Demon Lords. In other words, they will also be promoted to this strength. Subsequently, the first Demon King, Mogu, sent these Demon Kings and top Demon Masters to Guyuan realm. Both he and the first elder sensed the appearance of the ancient abyss world at about the same time, and then immediately summoned his subordinates, who were so far away from the ancient abyss world, and arrived at the ancient abyss world at about the same time. Swish! The first Mogu and these demons all left here and went to Guyuan realm. The years passed. After a period of time, both the first elder and the first demon venerable came to Guyuan realm, almost at the same time. Go in. The first elder waved his hand, and Yi Tian and other legends reached the Dao realm and the elders fell into the ancient abyss realm one after another. On the other side, the same is true for the first demon lord, directly throwing these demon lords and demon masters into it. Yuan, did you send them in from the innate origin alliance? The number is too small. Do you think you can snatch Ji Yu Yuanquan? The first demon venerable sneered. Mogu, everything is unknown. The first elder was always on guard. Although he couldn't beat the Mogu, he still had the means to hurt the Mogu, and there was no problem in escaping. If he is desperate, he has the means to severely injure the Mogu. And Mogu would never dare to be seriously injured by him. After all, the top 10 demon masters of Zidao Zumo are also waiting for the opportunity. Maybe they will surround and kill the severely injured Mogu. After all, Mogu is too domineering, and there must be many Mogu who are unhappy with him. It's just that Mogu's heyday was too terrifying, and none of the top 10 Mogu together could match him. Ancient Yuan realm. As soon as Yi Tian came in, he felt oppressed. His 6 duplicate bodies are scattered and cannot be gathered together, otherwise they will most likely all fall in case of danger. Swish swish swish, all the elders scattered and left to look for Ji Yu Yuanguo. The Guyuan fruit grows on the Guyuan boundary tree, and the Guyuan boundary tree is also a plant-type creature that can move, and no one knows where it is. Therefore, the first elder only let them come in to search, unable to give the exact location. The first elder said that the ancient abyss world has a lot of opportunities, the items of the rule of the supreme way, and the innate original treasure. There are many opportunities. I hope that I can get a few more pieces of innate health treasures in the first series of items of the rule of the highest way here. Yi Tian secretly looked forward to it. Soon, he encountered a legendary creature, and it was a legendary creature whose strength was comparable to that of the old man. No, this creature should be called a mythical creature. Yi Tian secretly thought. It's just that many supreme Dao realms don't even know what the realm of elders is called, and legendary creatures have a wider reputation, so there is no supreme Dao realm to call mythical creatures. In fact, it is said that the overlord of Heiyuan is also a top mythical creature. Open black lens bracket flood scale blood python close black lens bracket. This is the name of this mythical creature. Its strength is very strong. Even ordinary veterans will not be opponents if they meet here. However, Yi Tian is not afraid at all. Boom! A group of Xeon legendary bodies were mobilized by Yi Tian, and the power of the second series of Supreme Dao rules and perfect realms exploded, fighting with them. 693. Boom! Yi Tian fought with the flood-scale blood python, completely suppressing each other. What about mythical creatures? They are still not his opponents. Soon, Yi Tian beheaded the flood-scale blood python. It's a pity that it's the blood of mythology. Compared with the blood of legend, the energy is too great. It can't be refined at the 9th level Dao realm, otherwise it will explode and die, and its value is not great. Yi Tian shook his head and said, if it is the blood of the most powerful myth, he is sure to refine it, but this is just the blood of ordinary myth, and he does not like it. However, if it is used as a common resource to improve cultivation, it is also possible. Continue to search for Ji Yu Yuanguo and other treasures. Yi Tian continued to move forward. As time went by, Yi Tian encountered a lot of troubles in the ancient abyss world, but he also found a lot of resources, and also found a medium-quality second-order ultimate rule item and 2 low-quality second-order ultimate rules. Dao Rule Items. It's a pity that he still hasn't found the first series of items of the Supreme Dao Rule in the innate original treasure. It takes luck to find this thing. As for Ji Yu Yuan Guo, he didn't even see a trace of it. However, he is not in a hurry, the ancient Yuan realm will not disappear so quickly, and he still has enough time to find it. Chapter 2911 Killing the Blood Lake Demon Lord. This day, Yi Tian encountered a demon lord. This was Yi Tian's first encounter with the Mazan. Many demon lords have entered the ancient abyss realm, so it is quite normal to encounter demon lords. And this demon lord is the Blood Lake Demon Lord of the heavenly blood lineage, and has a little relationship with Yi Tian. He once infiltrated into the heavenly bloodline and assassinated Xu Guang, and the owner of the heavenly bloodline was Blood Lake Demon Lord. It's you. Blood Lake Demon Lord also recognized Yi Tian. Back then, Yi Tian sneaked into the heavenly bloodline and killed Xu Guang. He still remembered this and wanted to kill Yi Tian too. Now, finally have a chance. It's just rumored to reach the Dao realm, even if you walk the path of the strongest to the Dao, I can kill you. Of course, he is also very clear that this is one of Yi Tian's avatars, but killing one more avatar will also cause heavy losses to Yi Tian, and his mood will also be great. Swish. Blood Lake Demon Venerable was filled with the third sequence of Supreme Dao rules, and killed Yi Tian with one hand. However, he can't fight with all his strength, otherwise he won't be able to stay in the ancient abyss world for a long time, and he will be forcibly expelled from the ancient abyss world. But the next moment, he was dumbfounded. Boom. All kinds of powerful legendary bodies emerged from Yi Tian's body, and they were all in the perfect state, and a terrifying breath burst out. What's more, Yi Tian exploded the power of the second sequence of the perfect realm of the Supreme Dao Rule. One shot, Blood Lake Demon Venerable was directly blasted away. Even if his cultivation has reached the peak of the mythical Supreme Dao Void Demon Realm, his strength is still much worse than Yi Tian's. How can a single clone have so many legendary bodies of perfect state? Blood Lake Demon Venerable said in shock. Could this be Yi Tian's body? Thinking that this might be Yi Tian's body, he burned his blood power and started to fight. If you can get rid of Yi Tian's body, everything is worth it. But in fact, this is just Yi Tian's duplicated body, and he can duplicate it if he wants. Boom. Under the fighting between the two sides, the Blood Lake Demon Lord was still hanged and beaten. Even if he goes all out, it is still useless, and the gap in combat power is not small. The point is, Yi Tian's second sequence of Supreme Dao rules is too powerful, reaching the realm of perfection. How does the Blood Lake Demon Venerable compare? In a short while, the Blood Lake Demon Venerable was severely injured. Boom. Blood Lake Demon Venerable's body was pierced, and the wound could not heal. That was the power of the second sequence of Supreme Law. With his state of the third sequence of Supreme Law, he could not dispel the power of the second sequence of Supreme Law. As time went on, the Blood Lake Demon Venerable's injuries worsened and he was in a state of serious damage. He is scared and ready to run away. However, his speed was not as good as Yi Tian, and he was completely beaten. Yi Tian is too monstrous. How could such a monstrous guy be born in the congenital origin alliance? The Blood Lake Demon Lord was in despair. Once upon a time, Yi Tian sneaked into the heavenly blood lineage even if he was not even in the legendary Dao realm. As a result, in just a short time, he was already stronger than him. If he had known this earlier, he would have paid a huge price to assassinate Yi Tian by the Shantian Origin Alliance. Maybe he could have killed Yi Tian, and there would be no such situation today. Yi Tian, I want to die with you. The Demon Lord of the Blood Lake burned all life and cast the secret technique of lore killing Yi Tian with a ray of blood. This blood light seemed to be able to penetrate all things in the world. Yi Tian's layers of Xion legendary body were pierced through, and it was only blocked by the last layer of Xion legendary body. Certainly, Yi Tian's body was also blown away and suffered a slight injury, but within a breath, the injury recovered. Blood Lake Demon Venerable's last attack was very good. If he uses this move as a normal attack, I really can't match him. Yi Tian murmured. Subsequently, he scraped away the remnant of Blood Lake Demon Lord and found some treasures. There are still several low-quality items of the second sequence of Supreme Dao rules, but unfortunately there are no innate treasures. After Yi Tian put it away, he continued to move forward. Somewhere in the ancient abyss world, Su Ho was in trouble. She had just obtained an innate treasure, and before she had time to leave, she was spotted by a demon. After a fight, she found that she was no match and started to run away. The demon venerable she fought against was the 9 profound demon venerable who had been famous for a long time in Mogu's lineage. Although his cultivation base was only at the beginning of the mythical level, he had the bloodline of the strongest and the body of the strongest legend, and he had successfully made the legendary monster of the strongest the body transformed into the strongest mythical body, and the transformation was successful twice. And Suho hasn't even achieved a single transformation, and his cultivation has only just reached the initial stage of the mythical level. Therefore, her strength is not as good as Demon Lord 9 Profound. Among the demons who came in, the strength of Jushuan Demon Lord can definitely be ranked in the top 10, or even the top 5. Suho, you can't escape. 9 Zanmazan said coldly. Soon, Suho was caught up again. After a fight, Suho's body was pierced and he was seriously injured. Just when Suho was in despair, an attack pierced through layers of void and hit Demon Lord Jushuan. Boom! Demon Lord 9 Zan was directly sent flying, but he was not injured. Demon Lord 9 Profound was furious. Soon, he was able to locate the assailant. Yi Tian knew he had been discovered, so he didn't hide and walked out. Yi Tian, hurry up, you are no match for him. Suho said quickly. I know, Yi Tian said. He knew that he was indeed no match for the 9 Profound Demon Lord, a demon lord who had mastered the most powerful mythical body and completed 2 transformations. How terrifying was his strength. Although he has superimposed a variety of powerful legendary bodies, he is not a legendary body after all. At most, he is comparable to the physical body of ordinary veterans. Only by relying on the power of the second sequence of supreme rules and perfect realms can he crush ordinary veterans. But there is still a big gap Qian Nuos from the strength of Demon Lord 9 Profound. In terms of life-saving means, he has the protection of the second sequence of supreme rules, and his life-saving means are better than Suho. Moreover, his duplicate body fell as soon as it fell, and the impact was not great. But if Suho falls, then he really falls. Elder Suho, you go first, I am a clone, even if I fall, it doesn't matter. Yi Tian said, it is good. Suho knew that he was seriously injured and could not help, so he prepared to run away. 9 Profound Demon Lord wanted to intercept, but was blocked by Yi Tian. He exploded with a variety of extremely powerful legendary bodies, showing the second sequence of Supreme Tao rules of the perfect state, and under the outbreak of combat power, he really shocked the 9 Profound Demon Venerable. You have cultivated so many Xeon legendary bodies, and they are all consummated, and the second sequence of Supreme Tao rules has reached the state of consummation. Monster Yin, 9 Profound Demon Lord is going to kill Yi Tian first. Chapter 2912 The first sequence of Supreme Rules, comprehend. If Yi Tian breaks through to the mythical realm, Demon Lord 9 Profound would not dare to trouble Yi Tian, and he will definitely be instantly killed by Yi Tian. But now, he is not afraid of Yi Tian. Boom! The 9 Profound Demon Lord kept attacking Yi Tian, but Yi Tian was completely suppressed. However, his defensive ability is too strong. He forcibly blocked the attack of Demon Lord 9 Profound. Even if he was injured, he could still hold on for a while. But if it takes a long time, he will definitely not be able to stop it. Really, after fighting for a long time, Yi Tian's duplicate body still couldn't bear it, and was beheaded by the 9 Profound Demon Venerable, but at this moment, Suho didn't know where he had gone, and the 9 Profound Demon Venerable naturally couldn't find Suho. Yi Tian, are you okay? Suho sent a message. Yi Tian replied, it's okay to lose a clone. Thank you, if you hadn't saved me, I wouldn't have lost a clone. Suho apologized. Yi Tian, I found a lair of an extremely powerful mythical creature somewhere in the ancient abyss world. The strength of that mythical creature is no less than mine, and I can't kill it. You have more clones, maybe there is hope kill him. Suho said. Oh, where is it? Yi Tian is still very interested in the mythical blood of mythical creatures. If 647 has one more Xeon mythical blood, he can have one more Xeon legendary body, and the effect will be even better. In the future, he will be able to complete the transformation of the Xeon legendary body more easily. If such a good thing is obtained easily, he will naturally be happy. Suho immediately informed the exact location. Subsequently, Yi Tian passed away, somewhere in the ancient abyss world. This is a mountain range, and there is a lair in the depths of the mountain range, where a powerful mythical creature lives. A figure appeared, and it was Yi Tian. Sure enough, it is the most powerful mythical creature, Taihei Golden Crow Bird. Yi Tian quickly condensed 2 duplicate bodies, and then began to besiege the Taihei Golden Crow. Boom! The brutal fighting began. The strength of this Taihei Golden Crow Bird is very strong, not inferior to Suho, and also about the same strength as Yi Tian. Yi Tian's attack is not necessarily as strong as Su Ho's, but his defense is far superior to Su Ho's. Therefore, facing the Taihei Golden Crow, under the siege of Yi Tian's 3 duplicate bodies, this Taihei Golden Crow can still persist for a long time. But under the long-term AHCC, Tame Bird finally couldn't bear it anymore. Boom! The Taihei Golden Crow was killed, and its body fell into the nest, where it was put away for 10 days. Immediately, Yi Tian began to scrape the Taihei Golden Crow's nest to see if there were any good things. As a result, he really found something good. This is, quote, Yi Tian saw a piece of crimson metal exuding a terrifying aura of supreme law. This is the first sequence of Dao rule items. Yi Tian was very excited. He has been looking for the first sequence of the rule of law items, but he can't find it, and he can't trade it. Unexpectedly, I found it this time. He immediately let the 2 duplicate bodies stay here, and then refined the first sequence of items of the rule of the day. He swallowed this first order supreme rule item and began to refine it. The original source of the first sequence of supreme Dao rules is presented. But then, a terrifying flame burned Yi Tian's body. Even though he possessed many kinds of perfect and powerful legendary bodies, he still couldn't bear this kind of flame, and his body was gradually crumbling. Yi Tian didn't care about it, and continued to comprehend the first sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way. It didn't take long for his body to be burned into ashes, and the metal of the first sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way fell to the ground again. This is definitely a low-quality first-order Supreme Rule item. Yi Tian is sure. The side effects were too great. No wonder the Taihei Golden Crow bird didn't dare to refine this first-order Supreme Dao Rule item, and it also felt the danger of death, so it didn't dare to refine it, so it stayed inside the nest. Yi Tian didn't care about such side effects. He continued to condense a duplicate body, and comprehended the first sequence of Supreme Principles again. And soon, a copy of his body was incinerated into ashes. Then, he continued refining and comprehending. The years passed. After Yi Tian comprehends again and again, he is getting closer and closer to comprehending the first sequence of Supreme Dao rules. Once he comprehends the first sequence of Supreme Dao rules, his strength will change to a level comparable to that of 9 profound demon venerable. And at the same time, the fights in the ancient abyss world were extremely frequent. The elders and the demon masters had their own losses, and the losses of the top legends to the Dao realm and the top demon masters were even greater, and many of them fell to their deaths. This day, Buzz, Yi Tian's body is filled with the power of the first sequence of Supreme Law. It's done. Successfully comprehend the first sequence of Supreme Dao rules, and your strength has skyrocketed. Yi Tian said excitedly. However, he continued to comprehend this item of the first series of Supreme Dao rules. After all, he has not exhausted its origin. A demon lord. Yi Tian encountered a demon lord and traveled directly to it. When the demon master saw Yi Tian, he wanted to run away. After all, he recognized Yi Tian. However, the first series of Supreme Dao rules turned into silk threads and penetrated the opponent's body. In an instant, the opponent's body collapsed. Before he died, he showed an incredible expression. The first sequence of Supreme Dao rules, even the top demon lord, probably didn't understand it, but Yi Tian did understand it, which is simply unbelievable. The top demon lord is too weak. I guess even ordinary veterans will be instantly killed by me when they meet me. Yi Tian secretly thought. But there are no veterans or demons who enter here that are too weak. Like the Blood Lake demons, they are already the last ones. Before I knew it, another period of time passed. At this time, there are fewer demons and elders who are still alive, and most of them are healing. But during this period of time, Yi Tian has gained a lot. He is one person compared to 6 people, hunting everywhere, finding a lot of resources and mythical blood. However, Shantian Yuanbao is still very rare. He is not very lucky. So far he has not found one. And the demon lord and demon venerable who killed him did not have any innate treasures on them. But this day, his luck came. He met a mythical creature with innate treasure. Open black lens bracket Shen Wing blood ant close black lens bracket. The reason why Yi Tian could tell at a glance that the other party possessed the Shantian original treasure was because the other party's eyes were abnormal, exuding a strange light, and the aura was like the aura of the original treasure. During the battle, the divine winged blood ant seemed to be able to perfectly understand his methods, find his loopholes, and then counterattack. This must be one of the abilities of Shantian Yuanbao. Chapter 2913 The Ancient Abyss Boundary Tree was found. A god-winged blood ant with innate treasure, although it is difficult to deal with, but if it is besieged, there is hope. Yi Tian thought to himself. Fortunately, he he was the one who met. If Suho and other veterans met, they might be dead. After all, this divine winged blood ant is not only powerful, but also has insight into all loopholes, so there is no chance to escape. Boom. Yi Tian fought with him, constantly delaying time, while other duplicate bodies were already rushing over. After a period of time, the other cloned bodies finally rushed over, and immediately surrounded and killed the divine winged blood ant. A total of 6 copies of the body were massacred. Even if this divine winged blood ant possessed innate treasures, it would not be able to defend itself, and it was impossible to avoid all the attacks. However, the damage caused by the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules is difficult to recover, and the injuries of the divine winged blood ants gradually worsened, and their combat effectiveness continued to decline. Going to kill it. Yi Tian was excited. Once this divine winged blood ant is killed, he can obtain the third innate original treasure. Soon, the divine winged blood ant fell down, turned into a corpse, and fell completely. Get rid of it. Immediately, Yi Tian took out an item from the void of its eyes. This is a congenital treasure in the shape of a transparent lens, which seems to be able to blend into the eyes. Yi Tian's other duplicated bodies left, and this duplicated body is here to study this innate original treasure. He immediately refined this innate original treasure and integrated it into his eyes to see what the function of this innate original treasure is. Originally thought that this innate original treasure was very complicated, but I didn't expect to understand the mystery soon. This innate original treasure has 2 functions. The first function is to collect information to assist in the battle, that is, the blood ant used this ability to fight him before, so it is very helpful to grasp the opportunity every time to assist in the battle. Even if you encounter a powerful enemy, you can defeat it. Without this ability, the divine winged blood ant would be easily killed by him. In fact, this effect is not too great, the real effect is the second ability. Identification. This innate original treasure can identify all things. Even if it is an item that he has never seen before, this innate original treasure can be identified. Immediately, Yi Tian took out a piece of metal that had never been seen before, and let this innate original treasure be identified. A ray of light flashed, and the identification of this piece of metal was completed. Blood Dragon Dark Gold, which can extract Blood Dragon Dark Liquid, combined with the Eternal Dragon Flower, can promote the transformation of the mythical body. Fuck, the ability of this innate original treasure is terrifying, and its specific function can be identified. Yi Tian identified every piece of material. However, due to the limited materials on this duplicate body, too many cannot be identified. After I get out, I will appraise all the resources that I have no use for in the past. I don't know if it is possible to identify other innate treasures. Yi Tian thought to himself. If it can be identified, then he doesn't need to slowly study the functions of various innate treasures, but directly identify all their functions, and he can use them immediately. It's a pity that the other 2 innate original treasures are outside, and we can only wait for them to be appraised after they get out. Yi Tian secretly thought, with this innate original treasure, my strength has greatly increased. When I meet the 9 profound demon lord, I can easily suppress him. Even when I meet a more terrifying demon lord, I can barely resist and even escape. At this time, Yi Tian's confidence soared. Immediately, he left here and continued to search for resources. It would be great if we could find the Shantian Yuan Bao again. Ji Yu Yuan is outside the boundary. The first elder was still waiting anxiously, and he was urging a deduction like innate original treasure in his hand, and he was deducing the situation in the ancient abyss world. Although it is impossible to know the details, it is still possible to calculate how many veterans have fallen. 7 elders have fallen, and it is said that 10 have fallen in the Tao realm. The first elder also felt a little heartbroken. In the past, the loss of 1 elder was a huge loss, but now 7 elders have fallen, and they are all elders with incomparably great potential. However, this must be done, otherwise once the Guyuan fruit is obtained by Mogu and Mogu breaks through, the entire innate origin alliance will be destroyed, and all the elders may die in battle. Fortunately, 12 demon masters have fallen from the side of Zidao Zumo, and more demon masters have fallen. In comparison, Zidao Zumo's side suffered even greater losses. As for the loss of Zidao Zumo, some of the credit is attributed to Yue. Time flies. Yi Tian harvested more and more, and even found 1 more item of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules. 0. Seeking flowers. Of course, this first order Supreme Rule item is also of low quality. Somewhere in the ancient abyss world, a demon lord came to an area, and accidentally saw a huge sacred tree. There was a fruit growing on this sacred tree. This fruit was full of darkness and contained extremely terrifying power. Ancient Yuan fruit. The demon lord was excited. Unexpectedly, he was the first to find Gu Yuanguo. What a huge contribution. After he goes out, he will definitely get the attention of the number 1 demon venerable, and he will be trained to become a top demon venerable. Certainly. In his heart, he also has the idea of occupying Gu Yuanguo, whether he will surpass the number 1 demon lord because of this. 0. But soon, he killed this idea. If he dared to occupy Gu Yuanguo, there was a high probability that he would not be able to hide it from the first demon, and would be directly crushed to death by the first demon. It's better to take this Guyuan fruit, and immediately go out and offer it to the first demon king. After thinking this way, the demon lord will snatch the Guyuan fruit. However, this ancient abyss tree has extremely powerful combat power. When the demon lord approached, a branch of the ancient abyss tree turned into the most terrifying weapon in time, piercing through it in an instant. The demon lord was shocked and wanted to resist, but the legendary body was pierced, and a terrifying force erupted in his body, destroying his vitality. Before dying, he spread the news. Even if he died, if he passed on the news, he would have made a great contribution, and his descendants would also be valued. This is the only thing he can do. Soon, a demon king got the news and rushed here immediately. At this time, the first elder deduced that something was wrong, and deduced it with all his strength. Only then did he find that the Guyuan boundary tree was found by the void demon of the Supreme Tao. Immediately, he used a special method to send a message to the elders of the Guyuan realm, asking them to follow other demon lords and find the Tongue Abyss realm tree. Ancient Yuan realm. Have the void demons of the Supreme Tao found the ancient abyss boundary tree? Yi Tian also got the news. Immediately, his 6 cloned bodies did not search for resources, but tried their best to find the trace of the demon lord. If he found one, he would follow him secretly, and he could find the tree Zhong of the ancient abyss realm. Chapter 2914 Smashing the Ancient Fruit. Ancient Yuan Realm. Elder Xuanying is following a demon venerable, and that demon venerable is much stronger than him, but Elder Xuanying can make the other party unable to perceive him. It's just because he has an innate treasure on his body, Shadowless Leaf. This innate original treasure is very special. It does not have the ability to fight. Maybe he has not developed it yet, but he has developed an ability, which is to use the Shadowless Leaf to make himself beyond the void time and space and all rules. Even face to face, cannot perceive his existence. However, he couldn't do it, and he couldn't hide it if he did it. In addition, this kind of snooping also has a time limit, and it cannot be hidden for a long time, and a powerful attack will also expose him. In short, some tasteless, but very useful at critical moments. For example, now, he is following this demon lord. This demon lord must be going to the Guyuan boundary tree. Follow him, and you can find the location of the Guyuan boundary tree at 850. The elder Xuanying secretly said. After a period of time, the demon lord had arrived at Guyuan boundary tree. Elder Xuanying immediately informed the other elders of the location here. The ancient abyss boundary tree can move, although the speed of movement is not fast, but its strength is still very strong. It has been running away. And the demon lords took action one after another, wanting to kill the Gu Yuan boundary tree and take away its Gu Yuan fruit. However, the demon lords were also worried about destroying the Guyuan fruit, so they were a little cautious when attacking, which resulted in the failure of taking down the Guyuan boundary tree for a while. Yi Tian also received the news, and rushed towards the Guyuan boundary tree. After a while, Yi Tian met Suho and other elders. At this time, they had already arrived at the area of the Guyuan boundary tree, and discovered those demon lords and the Guyuan boundary tree. However, they did not act immediately, but waited until the other elders arrived before preparing to act. Soon, other patriarchs arrive, but some are less old. Those elders have already fallen, and we must do something. The Guyuan realm tree can't hold it anymore. Once they take the Guyuan realm, it will be difficult to destroy it. The person who spoke was the elder of the ancient desert, the elder of the ancient clan, very powerful, and also the most powerful among this group of elders. Who will destroy Gu Yuan Guo? Elder Xuanying asked. I'll go, Yi Tian said. Yi Tian, your strength is not enough to destroy Gu Yuanguo, this is not a joke, said one of the elders. At this time, Yi Tian displayed a body of the most powerful legends in all kinds of perfect realms, and the first sequence of supreme rules permeated his body. What? The first sequence of supreme Tao rules? Many elders were shocked, even Su Ho was shocked. She didn't know that Yi Tian had comprehended the first sequence of supreme Tao rules. I dare to sacrifice my avatar, I am the most suitable candidate. Yi Tian said, it is good, The other elders had no objections. Soon, they shuttled past. The demon lords have long known that this group of elders is coming, but as long as they don't hinder themselves, they will not assign demon lords to attack these elders. But now, when the elders come to kill, they must be stopped. Split some demons to stop them. Demon Lord Shweni ordered. Shweni Demon Lord is the most powerful one among this group of demon lords, and the other demon lords obey his orders. Immediately, 9 profound demon venerable waited to intercept the elders. Yi Tian's 2 duplicate bodies were used to destroy Jiu Yuanguo, and the other duplicate bodies were responsible for dealing with these demon lords. After all, he alone was equivalent to 6 elders, so he could make up for the lack of combat power. You again. Demon Lord Jushuan saw Yi Tian and was furious. He was going to kill another clone of Yi Tian. However, as soon as they fought, he was stunned. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. The 9 profound demon lord was stabbed by Yi Tian's spear, and he was immediately sent flying. Your strength. 9 profound demon venerable couldn't believe it. Before, Yi Tian was not his opponent at all, but his defense was strong, and he finally killed him. As a result, Yi Tian's attacks skyrocketed now. How did Yi Tian suddenly comprehend the first sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way? Could it be that he found the first sequence of the supreme rules of high-quality items, and took advantage of this time to comprehend the first sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way? This is too lucky, come on. Apart from this reason, he could think of no other reason. At this time, each of Yi Tian's duplicated bodies was fighting with their origins, crazily fighting for their lives. A weaker demon lord tried to intercept Yi Tian, but was killed by Yi Tian in a short time. And in such a big battle, the death of a demon lord would not cause any waves at all. Yi Tian's other 2 cloned bodies also came to the ancient abyss boundary tree. The demon lords knew Yi Tian's purpose, so naturally they didn't dare to let Yi Tian get close to the ancient abyss boundary tree. If Yi Tian really came into contact with the ancient abyss boundary tree, what if Jiu Yuanguo is destroyed at all costs? At this time Shweni Mazan personally prepared to suppress and kill Yi Tian. However, Shweni Mazan was shocked very quickly. He attacked Yi Tian, but he did not expect that Yi Tian found the weakest point, endured his attack with the least damage, and blocked it abruptly. Immediately afterwards, he continued to attack Yi Tian, but he was unable to seriously injure Yi Tian. Although Yi Tian's attack could not hurt him, it caused him a little trouble. Innate treasure. Shweni Mazan saw some clues by observing Yi Tian's eyes. This must be an innate treasure. Demon Lord Shweni could only intercept one of Yi Tian's duplicated bodies, and the other duplicated body had already killed the Guyuan boundary tree from the other side. Stop him quickly, Demon Lord Shweni roared. However, neither of the 2 demon lords could stop Yi Tian, and Yi Tian, who had been burned by his origin, punched him abruptly. At this time, he has come to Guyuan boundary tree. Immediately, he rushed to Jiu Yuanli on the Jiu Yuan boundary tree at all costs. No matter how the Guyuan boundary tree attacked him, he ignored it, and only wanted to destroy Guyuanguo. Boom! The first series of Supreme Tao rules turned into countless attack threads, killing Jiu Yuanguo. After attacking again and again, the Guyuan boundary tree couldn't stop it after all, and a ray of light formed by the 4.4 first sequence of Tao rules penetrated Guyuanguo. Suddenly, Tongguiu and Fruit Tree screamed. But just one blow still couldn't completely destroy Jiu Yuanguo. Yi Tian attacked desperately again, causing Jiu Yuanguo to be destroyed continuously. At this moment, Shweni Mazan and the others are all crazy. They all want to stop Yi Tian, but the other elders and Yi Tian's other duplicate bodies are desperately fighting for their lives. Finally, under the watchful eyes of many demon lords and elders, this ancient profound fruit was destroyed and turned into countless fragments. Yi Tian snatched some fragments and fled. These fragments should also be useful. Other demon lords are also snatching the fragments, and the fragments should be useful, but they definitely cannot allow Mogu to break through. Grab. The other elders were not idle either, and participated in the robbery. Chapter 2915 Ability Development of Shantian Yuanbao. Seeing that Jiu Yuanguo had been shattered, the demon masters could only snatch the remaining pieces. After some snatching, the fragments were divided up. At this time, the elders are all running away, and although the demons are chasing and killing them, obviously it won't have any good effect, and they can't kill these elders. Yi Tian also ran away, and soon disappeared. However, these copies of his bodies are almost exhausted. After all, in order to destroy Jiu Yuanguo, he naturally has to sacrifice a lot. After arriving at a safe position, Yi Tian condensed the cloned body again, and only then did he regain his peak combat power. Ji Yu Yuan is outside the boundary. The angry voice of the first demon, Mogu, spread across many areas. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. He growled. But the first elder was very happy, because Ji Yu Yuanguo was shattered, and although Zidao Zumo had snatched some fragments, those fragments were useless and could not help the first demon to break through. In other words, the crisis of the congenital origin alliance has been lifted. Mogu, what, do you want to fight? Although I am not your opponent, I can still severely injure you if I try my best, said the first elder. 07 Mogu's anger didn't dissipate, but he didn't really make a move. He snorted coldly and stopped talking. The years passed. This day, the ancient abyss realm began to tremble. It was a trace that was going to disappear. The first elder and the first demon lord still have a way to extend the time for Guyuan realm to appear, but that is meaningless. Buzz, a famous elder, who is said to have reached the Taoist realm, has been removed. Yi Tian's duplicate bodies were also removed. Go back. The first elder protected these elders in the legendary Tao realm, and brought them back to the Shantianyuan or the Alliance. From the beginning to the end, the first demon lord still did not make a move. Congenital Origin Alliance. After returning, these veterans breathed a sigh of relief. If a real war broke out just now, they might not survive. Winter Night Stronghold. I'm back, this time I've gained a lot. Yi Tian smiled. He obtained a lot of resources this time, and also found low-quality First-Order Supreme Tao Rule items, innate original treasures, and a variety of resources that are helpful for the transformation of the legendary body. Moreover, at the last moment, he also killed a demon lord, and found another First-Order Supreme Tao Rule item and various resources from that demon lord, as well as 10 first wishes. The other party probably didn't have time to study it, so it fell into his hands. He used the identification eye of the innate original treasure that could be identified, and the last innate original treasure he obtained was called Shen Chongzu. Its function is to assist in cultivation. It can increase the cultivation speed by 100 times and quickly refine resources ability. In other words, with such a divine Chongzu congenital original treasure, his cultivation level will improve very quickly, which can save 100 times the time. More importantly, being able to quickly refine resources will make the cultivation base improve extremely quickly. Ha ha ha, with God Chongzu, I guess I will soon be able to raise my cultivation level to the peak of the legendary Tao realm. Yi Tian secretly thought, let's identify the legendary blood treasure and the statue again. Yi Tian took out the legendary blood treasure and was the first to identify it. Soon, the appraisal result came out. Legendary blood treasure, which can assist in the cultivation of legendary bodies and mythical bodies. This treasure can be used to condense the legendary blood marrow, which can improve the aptitude potential of a family. Seeing the appraisal result, Yi Tian was very excited. He has researched the former ability, but he has not researched the latter ability. The legendary blood treasure can actually condense the legendary blood marrow and improve the aptitude of a family. This is a good thing for the human race. Although the human race is now powerful, its potential aptitude is still not as good as some top races in the Innate Origin Alliance. If the legendary blood marrow can be condensed, then the human race is really about to take off. In the eyes of appraisal, this innate original treasure is too precious, absolutely surpassing other innate original treasures. Yi Tian thought to himself. However, it still takes a lot of time to figure out how to condense the legendary blood marrow, so there is no rush for now. He identified the statue again with his appraising eyes. The identification results came out soon. The statue of Mira can be integrated into the body to explode powerful combat power, can assist in understanding the rules of the Tao, and can also form the domain of Mira, allowing many creatures to understand and assist in understanding the rules of the Tao. 1. It turned out to be the statue of Mila. I didn't give it a name, so I identified its real name. It is said that I named the blood treasure, which directly changed its original real name. Yi Wu secretly said. He has researched the first two abilities of Miro's statue, but he has not researched Miro's domain. If the domain of Mi Luo is researched, it can help other people quickly understand the rules of the Tao. But even if this ability is researched, it can't be exposed. At most, let your relatives understand the rules of the Supreme Tao. Otherwise, if the news spreads, those elders will not be able to sit still and invite him to contribute to Mi Luo's domain. At the very least, when my strength is comparable to that of the top 10 elders, I will only give Myra's domain to the rest of the race. Yi Tian decided. The following days, Yi Tian uses the statue of Mi Luo to comprehend the items of the first sequence of Tao rules to improve his realm of the first sequence of Tao rules. At the same time, he is also studying the domain of Mi Luo and the legendary blood marrow 603, striving to develop these two abilities. Moreover, after having the divine Chongzu, Yi Tian's cultivation base has improved very quickly, and with various resources, his cultivation base has taken off. Before you know it, hundreds of thousands of Tao era time have passed. This day, Yi Tian's cultivation has reached the peak of the legendary Tao realm. Moreover, he has practiced 8 kinds of Xeon legends to the Tao realm, and all of them have been promoted to the perfect realm. Not only that, but he also researched another ability of legendary blood marrow, Among them, the power of the second sequence of supreme Tao rules is needed for assistance. It can be said that if one cannot comprehend the second sequence of supreme Tao rules, one cannot develop this ability. Legendary blood marrow, it's time for the human race. Yi Tian condensed a large amount of legendary blood marrow, returned to the human domain, and then diluted the legendary blood marrow to be used by the people of the highest Tao realm of the race. If they did not reach the Tao realm, there was no way to refine the legendary blood marrow. Human Temple. A human race to the Tao realm came here, queuing up to receive a copy of the legendary blood marrow liquid, and even the first to the Tao realm had a copy. At first, they wondered what it was, but soon they were all shocked. Chapter 2916 Breakthrough, Veteran. A human race went to the Tao realm to receive the legendary blood marrow liquid, and refined it here. Boom. His foundation continued to strengthen, his aptitude and potential soared rapidly, and even his cultivation base skyrocketed. A heaven-defying treasure. This human race was shocked to the Tao realm. Such treasures are distributed for free by the human race temple, and all races up to the Tao realm can receive a copy. How much legendary blood marrow liquid is required for this? This must have been brought out by the great Yi Patriarch, thank you Patriarch. A celebrity came to the Tao realm and thought to himself. As the news spread, other supreme realms also came out of retreat one after another, and came to the human race temple to receive the legendary blood marrow. And the forces outside the human race can only be envious. Some supreme Tao realm tried to snatch the legendary blood marrow of human race supreme Tao realm. After being discovered, human race legend supreme Tao realm took action directly, suppressing and killing the family member behind the supreme Tao realm Shenjiang. After several incidents like this happened, no other forces dared to do this anymore. Gradually, the people in the highest realm of the human race have refined the legendary blood marrow liquid, and their basic potential has skyrocketed. The future potential is unlimited, and the heirs born will become extremely powerful in the future. As for those ordinary humans, because there are too many of them, covering the entire human domain, he can't make them all have the legendary blood. However, he diluted the legendary blood marrow liquid infinitely, and let the people below distribute it. Although it is impossible for everyone to enjoy the infinitely diluted legendary blood marrow liquid, at least it can be enjoyed by most human beings, and that is enough. In the future, the human race will probably give birth to a lot of 9 realms and legendary realms, and they will become the real top clans of the first Open Origin Alliance. Yi Tian secretly thought. Certainly, the premise is that he has to become a patriarch, and let the race give birth to a few more patriarchs. The days that followed, Yi Tian continued to practice in closed doors. He had exhausted the items of the first series of Supreme Tao rules, and he had comprehended 19% of the first series of Supreme Tao rules, which was considered very good. His main training content now is to continuously stack various Xeon legendary bodies, and when he can no longer stack, he will hit the mythical realm and become a young man. Long years passed. Yi Tian has more and more powerful legendary bodies. 9 kinds, 10 kinds, 11, 12 kinds. If he hadn't gone to Legend Heiyuan last time and plundered a lot of Xeon legendary blood, otherwise the Xeon legendary blood would really not be enough. This day, Yi Tian is cultivating the 18th most powerful legendary body to the perfect state, and feels that his body has reached the limit, and he can no longer practice the 19th most powerful legendary body. It's the limit .. Yi Tian murmured. Moreover, his cultivation base has also reached the current limit, and he can go to the God Straight realm. Breakthrough from the legendary Tao realm to the mythical Tao realm, especially the legendary Tao realm to go to the strongest Tao realm, requires comprehension of the second sequence of supreme Tao rules, and also transforms the source of legendary power in the body into the source of mythical power. After such a breakthrough, it can be regarded as stepping into the realm of mythology. However, such a breakthrough to the mythical Tao realm is only the initial stage of the mythical Supreme Tao realm, but it is not actually a mythical Supreme Tao realm. It is necessary to cultivate the legendary body to perfection before transforming into a mythical body, can be regarded as truly reaching the mythical realm. Therefore, like Su Ho, it is not really a mythical realm. But in the imaginary realm, even a veteran with a breakthrough in cultivation is a true mythical Supreme Taoist. However, it is too difficult to break through the source of the power of legend, even with the help of the second sequence of Supreme Tao rules, it is extremely difficult. Many legends have reached the Tao realm, and they clearly meet the requirements, but there is only a 1,000th chance of success. Yi Tian has comprehended the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, and his breakthrough success rate will be relatively high, but at most it is only a few tenths. Therefore, he must also use resources to break through. Just like Su Ho, who snatched the original Black Lotus before, and the original Black Lotus is a treasure that helps to break through, which can increase the success rate by nearly 70%. And he also has treasures that help to break through. Yi Tian took out pieces of debris. This is the ancient Yuan fruit fragment that he snatched. Guyuan fruit fragments, taking them can promote the transformation of the source of legendary power, and 100% transform into the source of mythical power. This is the result of the identification of the eye of identification. Even if it's a fragment, it's still a good thing. Of course, this thing can make people break through, but how many fragments are needed, you have to go through experiments to know. Then let's break through. Yi Tian began to retreat to attack the mythical realm. He swallowed a piece of Guyuan fruit, and began to attack the mythical realm. Boom! The source of legendary power in the body gradually began to change after absorbing the fragments of the ancient Yuanguo, coupled with the integration of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, but Yi Tian's source of legendary power was too strong. He has practiced a large number of Xian legendary body, so it is more difficult to break through. However, after he refined one piece after another of the ancient abyss fruit fragments, a ray of mythic power was born. Boom! When this source of mythic power was born, it absorbed the source of legendary power crazily, and more sources of legendary power were transformed into the source of mythical power. At this time, he doesn't need to consume the fragments of the ancient fruit, and can slowly transform the source of the power of myth. In this way, one after another Supreme Tao era passed. After about tens of thousands of Tao era, all of Yi Tian's legendary powers transformed into mythical powers, his body also ushered in a transformation, and his whole person's strength and aura underwent an earth-shaking improvement. This moment, Yi Tian is no longer a legendary Taoist Wang Hao but a Wu Lao who is a mythical Taoist. At the same time, the news of Yi Tian's breakthrough can't be concealed naturally, and all the elders of the Innate Origin Alliance know about it. Soviet domain. Su Ho opened his eyes and looked at the location of human domain. Yi Tian has made a breakthrough. His strength is already very strong. With this breakthrough, his strength is far superior to that of ordinary veterans. Su Ho secretly thought. However, at this time Yi Tian hadn't left the customs yet. After Yi Tian leaves the customs, she will go to congratulate her again. Another period of time passed. At this time, Yi Tian's cultivation had stabilized, so he announced his exit. Afterwards, a group of veterans came to congratulate the man with gifts. And Yi Tian naturally entertained some, held a feast in human domain, and also announced to the outside world that a veteran was finally born in human domain, and his status in the Innate Origin Alliance has changed since then. Chapter 2917 The Domain of Mila, researched. The authority of the Congenital Origin Alliance has reached the veteran level. Yi Tian entered the Hall of Elders in the Void of Supreme Tao. Here, he enjoys the authority of the veteran level, and can inquire about any information and intelligence in the highest void. 613 Elders. This is the current number of elders in the Hall of Elders, and it is also the number of elders in the entire Innate Origin Alliance. There are so many elders. Yi Tian was extremely surprised. However, most of the elders were in a deep sleep, almost all of them were from the era of the first elder, their cultivation could not improve, and they were idle and bored, so they fell into a deep sleep, and would only wake up when something big happened. Therefore, Yi Tian has never seen these elders. There are also some elders who are in a special place and can't come out, so they couldn't be summoned last time. After all, it will take time to rush over, and the first elder can't wait for them to come back. In that case, there will be no time to go to Tong Yuanmao. And after entering the Hall of Elders, he also knew the division of elders. The first grade of veterans is the 36 veterans of the Congenital Origin Alliance, and they are also veterans with specific rankings. The second level of veterans is the kind of veteran whose cultivation has reached the middle or late stage of the legendary Tao realm, and whose mythical body has undergone multiple transformations. The third level is the ordinary veterans, and the gap in strength is relatively large. For example, Su Ho and Su Yuan belong to the third grade of elders, because some elders are in the third grade of 963. My strength should have reached the second level, Yi Tian estimated. However, he has just broken through to the Tao realm of mythology, and there is still a lot of room for improvement. For example, let those 18 kinds of Xeon legendary bodies transform into Xeon mythical bodies one after another. If it is done, his strength will usher in a huge transformation and improvement. Subsequently, Yi Tian took out the legendary ancient tooth stone. He found a lot of such resources in the legendary bitter sea, which will help the legendary body transform into a mythical body. Let the dragon scale legendary body transform into the dragon scale mythical body first. Yi Tian directly swallowed a lot of legendary ancient tooth stones, and then practiced with the help of legendary blood treasures. Boom! With enough legendary ancient dental stones, plus the legendary blood treasures that can assist in cultivating the mythical body, it is not difficult for him to transform the dragon scale legendary body into a dragon scale mythical body. After some years, Yi Tian's dragon scale legendary body began to transform and evolved into a dragon scale mythical body. Transformed, Yi Tian felt that his body had become stronger, and his strength had skyrocketed. However, his dragon scale mythical body is only one transformation, followed by 2 transformations, 3 transformations, 4 transformations, etc. Each transformation will be more difficult, and the resources consumed are unimaginable. But Yi Tian has the legendary blood treasure, so he has the hope of transformation again and again. Immediately afterwards, Yi Tian transformed the other 17 legends into mythological forms. After hundreds of thousands of Supreme Tao era passed, Yi Tian's 18 most powerful biographical bodies all became the most powerful mythical bodies, and the strength of the whole person skyrocketed a lot. However, if you want to complete the second transformation of these mythical bodies, it will take a lot of time and resources. Moreover, he doesn't have so many special resources, and can only use normal resources and legendary blood treasures to practice, so he can only improve slowly. The world of fine wine. This is a special treasure land in the imaginary domain, where the veterans can condense fine nectar to Tao golden liquid and fine nectar golden feather liquid. After Yi Tian became a veteran, he also knew about this place. This day, Yi Tian has come here, and he is going to refine some fine nectar to Tao Jinye and fine nectar golden feather night in the fine nectar world. The magma world is full of magma, and this place is not ordinary magma, but magma that contains terrifying power. The elders need to use the second sequence of Supreme Tao rules to extract drops of agar nectar from these magmas to Tao Jinye. And the elders who have just comprehended the rules of the second sequence of Supreme Tao can only condense a drop of fine nectar to golden liquid in 10,000 Supreme Tao epochs. But Yi Tian is different. He has comprehended the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, and the efficiency of condensing the golden liquid of the nectar lane will naturally be higher. Try how long it takes to condense the fine nectar into Daojin liquid. Yi Tian's station AHBJ is in a magma, and began to use the first sequence of Tao rules to extract the magma to Tao Jinye. The time of the Supreme Tao era has passed one after another, after 300 Supreme Tao eras. A drop of fine nectar until Tao Jinye condensed out. Only 300 Supreme Tao era can condense a drop of fine nectar to Tao gold liquid, which is very fast. In this way, 10,000 Supreme Tao era can condense more than 30 drops of fine nectar to Tao golden liquid. If you condense fine nectar to Daojin liquid here, you can condense more than 100 drops of fine nectar and Daojin liquid in the time of 100,000 lanes. Yi Tian is going to spend 100 years to the Tao era to condense the fine nectar to the Tao golden liquid here, so that more than 10,000 drops of the fine nectar to the Tao golden liquid can be condensed. One drop of fine nectar to Tao gold liquid can make an ordinary 9th level to the top of Tao realm quickly raise the cultivation base to the 9th level to the peak of the Taoist realm. It is conceivable how many 9 peak to the top of the Tao state can be cultivated by 10,000 drops of fine nectar to Tao gold liquid. Certainly. He is also planning to let a duplicate body condense the fine nectar golden feather liquid here for a long time, which needs to go deep into the core of the fine nectar world, and slowly condense a drop of fine nectar golden feather liquid there. In this period when the strength cannot be improved quickly, he wants to let the race have more legends to the Tao realm, as well as veterans. This day, Yi Tian finally used the statue of Miro to study the domain of Mirao. Mila's domain has been researched. Yi Tian was very excited. Human temple. Yi Tian opened up a void here, and then a duplicate body prepared to sit in this void for a long time. I saw a statue of Miro emerging from his body, and a wave of power spread out from the statue of Miro. Mila domain, Ning. In an instant, Myris domain was formed, and this piece of space was completely merged. As long as the statue of Miro does not leave here, the domain of Miro will not collapse. Wife, son, and daughter must enter here to comprehend the rules of the Supreme Tao. Yi Tian secretly thought, only they are allowed to enter here, other people, even grandchildren, are not allowed to enter, otherwise the news will spread and the impact will be too great, and he still can't help it now. Soon, Xiao Yu, Yi Xingchen, and Yi Xingyu entered this void. Father, Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu shouted. You are here to comprehend the rules of the Supreme Tao and try the effect. Yi Tian said. Yi Xingchen was a little puzzled, he didn't have the items of the Supreme Tao rule, so what kind of Supreme Tao rule can he comprehend here? However, they followed their father's orders. Yi Xingchen sat cross-legged and began to comprehend the rules of the third sequence. As soon as he realized it, he was shocked. Chapter 2918 Yi Xingchen breaks through the veteran. Father, I am enlightened here, and my efficiency in comprehending the third sequence of Supreme Tao rules has increased many times. Yi Xingchen was shocked. You must know that if you don't use the items of the third sequence of Supreme Tao rules, there is almost no reaction to comprehend the third sequence of Supreme Tao rules. Even if you comprehend the 100,000 Supreme Tao era and the million Supreme Tao era, there is not much progress. But it's different here, and it's obvious that a little bit of progress can be sensed. This is Myris domain, Yi Tian introduced. You can comprehend the rules of the Supreme Tao here, and the speed of progress is far faster than that of the outside world. If you comprehend the rules of the Supreme Tao here, the effect will far exceed the outside world. Maybe a rule of thumb item is equivalent to dozens of times the effect of the outside world. This is incredible. Yi Xingchen was shocked. Immediately, he asked again, Father, the Mila domain is so big, can it allow many people to establish comprehension without affecting the effect of comprehension? Yi Tian said, it is possible for the Emperor to enter the Tao realm for enlightenment. It does not affect the effect of enlightenment, and only needs to supply energy. However, for the time being, no one other than you can be allowed to enter for enlightenment, even yours. Neither will heirs. Why? Yi Xingchen asked. Yi Tian said helplessly, because Mi Luo's domain is too inconceivable. To an individual, it is nothing, but to a force, its value is unimaginable. If it is such a Mi Luo domain, let a force continue to cultivate it. After a long time, how many legendary Tao realms will be cultivated? Even more veterans will be cultivated. Therefore, once the Mila domain is exposed, even if the 1036 veterans will not forcibly snatch it, they will still suggest let the Supreme Tao realm of other forces enter here for enlightenment. In that case, the human race will not be able to take advantage. Quote. Father, I understand. Yi Xingchen nodded. The human race is not strong enough now, and it is difficult to keep such a domain of Mi Luo. Only after the father is stronger and not afraid of other elders, can the domain of Mi Luo be announced. So, for the time being, you are cultivating here, and I will prepare some Supreme Tao rule items for you, especially for you, the stars. As soon as possible, you can comprehend the third sequence of Supreme Tao rules to the perfect state, and I will give you a legendary spiritual item, so that you break through to the mythical realm and become a veteran, Yi Tian said. Thank you, Father. Yi Xingchen was excited. In the years that followed, Yi Xingchen and the others were here to comprehend the rules of the Supreme Tao. And Yi Tian also brought them some high-quality, top-quality third sequence Supreme Tao rule items and fourth sequence Supreme Tao rule items, but he tried his best to erase the side effects. Gradually, their realm of supreme rules continued to improve. After many years, Yi Xingyu and Xiao Yu have comprehended the fourth sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way to a perfect state, and with the help of an item of the third sequence of the perfect way, comprehended the third sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way. Theoretically, it is also possible to break through to the mythical realm of ordinary legends who comprehend the rules of the third sequence of Supreme Tao, but the probability is relatively low. It is best to understand the rules of the third sequence of Supreme Tao to more than 70% of the realm. Great chance of breakthrough. So, they continued to study. Anyway, the existence of the Mila domain, coupled with Yi Tian's constant supply of various items of the third sequence of the Supreme Law, is enough to ensure that they can comprehend the third sequence of the Supreme Law to a very high level. In addition, Yi Tian also took out the innate original treasure of Shen Changzu, and asked Yi Xingchen and the three of them to use it separately to improve their cultivation base, striving to raise their cultivation base to the peak of the legendary Dao realm as soon as possible. That's why Yi Tian was willing to take out the Shantian Yuanbao for his family to use. If it was replaced by other people, he would not dare to reveal it, for fear of being exposed. Unknowingly, the years of the million to Dao era have passed. At this time, Yi Xingchen has already raised his cultivation to the peak of the legendary Dao realm, and has comprehended the third sequence of the Supreme Dao rules to a 100% perfect state. He only needs to comprehend the second sequence of the Supreme Dao rules, so that he can attack the mythical Supreme Dao realm. Knowing that Yi Xingchen's third sequence Supreme Rule has been fulfilled, Yi Tian took out the only high-quality second sequence Supreme Rule item he found. This high-quality second sequence Supreme Rule item is called Xuanluo Stone. After the identification of the Eye of Appraisal, it only needs Tianshui liquid, dragon scale ancient blood and bright blood marrow to get rid of its side effects. Xing Chen, these items are for you. You can use them to comprehend the items of the second sequence of Supreme Dao rules. When you understand the second sequence of Supreme Dao rules, come to me again. Yi Tian said, "Thank you, father." Yi Xingchen immediately went to comprehend the second sequence of Supreme Dao rules. With the help of Mi Luo's domain, Yi Xingchen spent tens of thousands of years in the Supreme Dao era, and successfully comprehended the second sequence of Supreme Dao rules. Subsequently, Yi Tian spent all kinds of resources to raise Yi Xingchen's Xian legendary body to a perfect state, and then took out a legendary spirit item. This is the legendary spiritual object he found in the legendary Sea of Bitterness. It can 100% help Yi Xingchen break through to the mythical realm, and the effect is similar to that of Ji Yu Yuanguo. Therefore, Yi Tian took out this legendary spiritual item to Yi Xingchen. "Thank you, father." Yi Xingchen immediately went to retreat to break through. The years passed, tens of thousands to after the Dao era. Yi Xingchen finally made a breakthrough, the power of legend in his body transformed into the power of myth, broke through the bottleneck, and became a myth to the Dao realm. The vision that Yi Xingchen broke through shocked the entire human domain, and naturally shocked the congenital origin alliance. Asterisk 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 asterisk. It's the human realm again. Hasn't Yi Tian, the elder of the prison realm, already broken through? Who else has broken through and become the Dao realm of mythology? I've never heard of the powerful legendary Dao realm in the human domain. How did it break through all of a sudden? It's strange. Could it be Yi Tian's avatar breaking through? Impossible. Yi Tian's avatar was refined. I've seen it before, and it's already in the mythical realm. There's no need to break through. That's strange. Why don't you ask the elder Yi Tian? So, a group of elders questioned Yi Tian in the high void. And Yi Tian also appeared in the highest void, saying, "Everyone, it is my son who broke through the myth and reached the Dao realm." This announcement shocked all the elders. It's nothing more than Yi Tian's breakthrough to become a veteran. Who is Yi Tian's son? I've never heard of it. How could he suddenly become a legend and become a veteran? Chapter 2919 Terran, 4 Elders. Congratulations to Elder Yi Tian. Congratulations Yi Tian veteran. Congratulations to Elder Yi Tian. A group of elders congratulated. No matter how Yi Xingchen made the breakthrough, now that Yi Tian's son has broken through the mythology to the Dao realm, it means that there is one more veteran in the human domain, which naturally deserves congratulations. Yi Tian has a big secret. Some elders secretly said in private. They all guessed it, but now that Yi Tian has risen, they have no way to pry into its secrets, but they know in their hearts that the rise of the human race cannot be stopped. Another period of time passed. Yi Xingchen officially broke through, exited the customs, and obtained the authority of the elders. Not long after, Yi Tian's wife, Xiao Yu, also met the breakthrough requirements, and Yi Tian also helped her to break through. Immediately afterwards, a breakthrough vision emerged. Many yuan, 760, elders looked at the human domain again. Although the vision of this breakthrough was much smaller and only one ordinary veteran was born, most of the innate original domain alliances are ordinary veterans. Many elders came to inquire again, and they were shocked when they learned that the person who made the breakthrough was Yi Tian's wife. They were very shocked, how rich Yi Tian is, and it is unbelievable that he can forcibly help others to break through to the senior level. Should there be someone in the human domain who breaks through to become the mythical realm and become a veteran? Some elders secretly said so. Really. Another period of time passed, and Yi Xingyu successfully broke through the mythology to the Dao realm and became a patriarch. So far, the human race has 4 elders. Moreover, Yi Tian alone is equivalent to several elders. Moreover, the number of human races in the legendary Dao realm is constantly increasing, not only at the elder level, but also in the legendary Dao realm, and even at the supreme Dao realm level, the human race far surpasses the Su, Qin, and Sword clans. At this time, Yi Tian is also thinking about the plan to relocate all the forces and groups outside the human race out of the human domain, and plans to make the human domain a territory that only belongs to the human race, and then transform the human domain enough to withstand the attack of the veteran level. However, other forces, such as Tezu Palace, have to be given a place to go. After all, there are too many creatures outside the human race. If there is no place to go, they cannot be killed. If this is really done, it will be no different from exterminating an innate original domain, and there will definitely be voices of dissatisfaction with him within the innate original domain alliance. Besides, Yi Tian definitely wouldn't do this, even the Promise Heavenly Palace didn't do it back then, how could he do such a thing? But this day, a piece of good news came. The Congenital Origin Domain Alliance gave birth to another innate origin domain. Somewhere in the imaginary domain, a congenital original domain is being conceived, and some 9th level Dao realms have come here. Just a congenital original domain, naturally it can't attract the attention of the legends to the Taoist realm, let alone the attention of the elders. But many small forces have their eyes on this innate original domain and want to occupy an innate original domain. However, exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. The aura of the elder descended, making the group of 9th realm Dao realm terrified. In an instant, Yi Tian descended. This group of 9th layer supreme Dao realm recognized Yi Tian. They may not know other elders, but Yi Tian is a new elder, his growth rate is too fast, he used to be a strong man in the same realm as them, so they naturally recognized him. Elder Yi Tian, a group of Juchong reached the Dao realm and shouted quickly. I want this innate original domain. Yi Tian said in an orderly tone. Yes, all the members of the Juchong Dao realm slipped away in desperation, not daring to stay here. Yi Tian wants this innate origin domain, how dare they fight for it? After another period of time, this innate original domain is about to successfully conceive. Immediately, Yi Tian began to arrange formations and build a fortress outside this innate original domain to protect it and connect it with other innate original domains. It's time to go back and talk to Palace Master Tezu. Human domain, Tai Su Palace. Yi Tian descended here. Elder Yi Tian, Palace Master Tezu saw Yi Tian coming, and said respectfully. Now she is still only at the 8th level of Taoism, not even the 9th level of Taoism, and Yi Tian is already a high-ranking elder, and the status gap is too great. After Yi Tian came, he didn't beat around the bush and said directly, Master Tezu Palace, I hope that Tezu Palace can be relocated to a newly conceived Shantian origin domain, and Tezu Palace will be in charge of that Shantian origin domain, and I will give how about a part of the resources as compensation and even give you a 5th order Supreme Dao rule item. 5th sequence Supreme Dao rule item. The Lord of Tezu Palace is heartbroken 0. Perhaps in the human race, a 5th order Supreme Dao rule item can be easily exchanged, but she is not a human race. The cultivation environment of a new innate original domain is definitely not as good as today's human domain, but Yi Tian is willing to compensate for resources, and just giving some resources is enough to make Tezu Palace take off. At this moment, she almost guessed Yi Tian's purpose. She is also in the 8th level of Dao realm who has gone out of the human domain, and knows that the Su Yu, Qin Yu and other innate original domains are almost controlled by one family, and even outsiders are not allowed to enter. Apparently, Yi Tian also wanted to completely control the human domain, and only allowed the human race to be the king of the human domain. If they disagree, it will undoubtedly make Yi Tian unhappy. Therefore, Palace Master Tezu agreed. Elder Yi Tian, I agree. Palace Master Tezu responded. Okay, I'll give you this little thing. Yi Tian casually threw a void ball to Palace Master Tezu. Palace Master Tezu took it over and checked it after Yi Tian left. So many treasures. The Lord of Tezu Palace was excited. These resources were more than 10 times more than all the assets of Tezu Palace combined. Perhaps the resources Yi Tian obtained by killing a legend who reached the Dao realm were far more than this. But for the Tezu 4.0 Palace Master who is at the 8th level to the Taoist realm, these resources are enough to make her and the factor officer's strength skyrocket. Subsequently, Tezu Palace is about to evacuate out of the human domain, and enter the new innate original domain under the arrangement of the human race, and even the strong human race is willing to help transform the new innate original domain. And, that new innate domain was renamed Tezu Domain. The Tezu Palace was originally a top force other than the human race, and had a high prestige in the Shantian plain. Once the Tezu official left, the other forces would follow suit. Of course, the human race will give some benefits to every force that takes the initiative. Gradually, more and more forces are leaving. Seeing this situation, those ordinary forces also left. As for the almost endless small forces, the human race's Supreme Tao realm and the legendary Supreme Tao realm took action, moved them out of the human realm, sent them to the Tezu region, and filled the entire Tezu region. Chapter 2920 Legend of the Sea of Bitterness, the Sealed Elders and Demons. After such an operation by the human race, all the creatures of those races in the human domain were moved to the Tezu domain, as if the past Wuji domain was replaced with the Tezu domain. And the human race has completely occupied the human domain, and the infinite territory belongs to the human race, and there are no other forces and races. Certainly, some other races will definitely be bred in the future, but as long as they are slightly modified, it is impossible to give birth to other powerful races. On the whole, the entire human domain already belongs to the human race. This day, Yi Tian began to transform the human domain. As a veteran, he has a high level of authority, so he naturally knows a way to transform the innate original domain alliance, the world-building formation of 10,000 layers. This is a large formation developed by many veterans over a long period of time. It requires a large amount of resources. Once it is completed, it can quickly increase the origin of an innate original domain, and it can also form a terrifying defense. According to some legends, it is possible to mobilize the 10,000 layers world formation to resist the 07 attacks of ordinary veterans, so that the innate original domain will not be destroyed. For example, the Sword Clan has set up a world-building formation of 10,000 layers. Even if the elders of the Sword Clan fall, with such a formation, the Sword Clan will not be afraid of ordinary elders. Yi Tian's net worth is rich, so it's no problem to set up a world-building formation with 10,000 weights. Soon, Yi Tian prepared the materials and began to arrange the world-building array of 10,000 layers. After a period of time, the arrangement of the 10,000 world-building formations was completed. Immediately afterwards, Yi Tian began to build fortresses outside the human domain, using these fortresses to protect the human domain. Just like the Soviet domain, he also built fortresses outside the Soviet domain. These fortresses will be guarded by strong people from the human race. Another period of time has passed, and the 10,000 worlds boundary formation and the fortresses have been established. The human race is developing steadily now, so I don't have to worry about it. Next, I have to work hard to improve my strength. Yi Tian secretly thought, and Yi Tian's duplicated bodies are also for various treasures, such as the legendary Sea of Bitterness and other treasures, and he has been looking for resources in it to improve his own strength. Although the harvest is not too much, but after a long time, the accumulated resources are extremely rich. This day, a duplicate body of Yi Tian searched for resources in the legendary Sea of Bitterness, and gradually came to the deepest part of the legendary Sea of Bitterness, where the legendary bitter beasts are very powerful, and the elders of the 10 boats will die if they enter here. But even if Yi Tian is now suppressed by the legendary Sea of Bitterness, he has comprehended the first series of supreme rules, and has mastered so many mythical bodies, how terrifying the physical body is, so he can survive here. Suddenly, Yi Tian's copy talent sensed the existence of a veteran. The third elder, Shadow Chen. At this time, the third elder also sensed the existence of Yi Tian, and looked over. Wow, Yi Tian shuttled past. Meet the third elder. Yi Tian said politely. The third elder Ying Chen looked at Yi Tian, smiled and said, "You should be Yi Tian, the newest elder of the Congenital Origin Alliance." Although the third elder has been staying in the legendary Sea of Suffering, he has always grasped the information and intelligence of the outside world, but he cannot get the latest information in time. Yes, Yi Tian nodded, and immediately looked in front of the third elder. I saw a strange legendary bitter beast there, which solidified its body and wrapped an island, forming an indestructible defense, and the third elder also trapped the other party, preventing the other party from escaping, and kept attacking the legendary bitter beast. The third elder, has this legendary bitter beast been trapped here? Yi Tian asked curiously. That's right, the third elder said, there is an item I need in the lair of this legendary bitter beast. Unfortunately, the defense of this legendary bitter beast is too strong. I can only rely on the long years to wear down its physical body little by little. Being able to let the third elder stay here to wipe out this legendary bitter beast shows how precious the things inside are. But this place has already been occupied by the third elder, and the other elders will not come to snatch it. Besides, many elders knew that the third elder was here, so there was no need to hide it. By the way, Elder Yi Tian, don't go to the location of the legendary bitter sea. The third elder pointed out a direction and said, there is a very terrifying legendary bitter beast there. In the other party's territory, the legendary bitter sea that can be mobilized. I have a lot of power, even I am not an opponent, and the opponent is good at sealing methods. 3 elders have been sealed by the opponent and they still cannot get out of trouble. The 3 elders were sealed. Yi Tian was surprised. Could it be that even the first elder can't deal with it? Yi Tian asked. That's not true, the third elder said. The first elder is very powerful, and should be able to deal with the legendary bitter beast, but in case something happens, the first elder will not come here, nor will he come here for the sake of the 3 old and adventurous. Thank you, third elder, for reminding me, Yi Tian said. Legend has it that the depths of the sea of bitterness. But Yi Tian came straight to the position of the third elder. He was full of curiosity at the moment. Although it was very dangerous there, he was not afraid of encountering danger. The worst would be the loss of a duplicate body. Soon, he came to the territory of the legendary bitter beast with the ability to seal. As soon as Yi Tian stepped into this area, a legendary bitter beast with an extremely strange appearance appeared. The opponent's body was densely packed with seal patterns, and its head was as deep and terrifying as an abyss. Open black lens bracket abyss 10,000 skeletons close black lens bracket. This is the other party's name. In an instant, Yi Tian's 4,000 weeks were blocked. Immediately afterwards, one after another seals struck, and these seals were impressively composed of the first sequence of Tao rules. Yi Tian used the first sequence of supreme Tao rules to contend, but his strength was not as good as the opponent's, and the opponent mobilized too much power of the legendary Sea of Bitterness, easily sealing Yi Tian's duplicate body. I saw that Yi Tian's duplicated body turned into a statue and fell from the legendary Sea of Bitterness to the bottom of the sea. Legend has it that the bottom of the Sea of Bitterness. Yi Tian saw 3 statues of elders and 6 statues of devils. In addition to his words, it means that the 10 mythical supreme Tao realms are sealed here. Now, his body was sealed, but his consciousness was still relatively clear, and he could even communicate with the outside world. Another unlucky senator. The outside world should know the information here. Why is there still a veteran here looking for death? Probably out of curiosity. I think there is a chance here, so I'm here again. By the way, this old man should be a newly promoted old man. I've never seen him before. Ha ha ha, another veteran of your innate origin alliance has been sealed. Yi Tian could naturally hear the conversations of these elder demons. Hi everyone, Yi Tian said hello. He was not in a hurry to get rid of this duplicate body, and wanted to see if there were any other opportunities here.